poppin', everybody? Appreciate you guys checking in this Sunday night. I think we all kind of predicted. We all kind of knew the game was going to kind of play out the way that it did. We'd lose 17-24. The Broncos basically ran the table the entire game. I don't think at any point in the game I thought that we had a chance at winning or even coming back or making this a game. I think they just kind of slowly, methodically, the Broncos just continue to put points up on the board. We couldn't capitalize on anything, and we consistently made mistakes. And so we're going to break this game down, kind of go over the winners and losers. Definitely ask some questions to the chat. We got a couple questions that we want to talk about here, but at the same time, check in with you guys, see what you think. Obviously, number one, Geno Smith goes down. Kenny Pickett comes in. He does his thing. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about, is it time for Kenny Pickett to kind of get his opportunity based on what we've seen with Geno so far. We'll talk winners and losers, but at the end of the day, or towards the tail end, with this loss and with a couple favors done by other teams, we now sit in the 2026 draft in a certain position, and we're going to talk about that. So we appreciate everybody popping in. People are starting to flow in right now. We'll say what's up to the chat. But I will say, Jeff, first one in the building. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you rocking in, being the first one in the building in the comment section. Guys, if you guys want to get included in the chat, hit that sub button. We do a sub-only chat just to show our appreciation, so we definitely appreciate it, but we'll say what's up to everybody else. But, man, Severe, hey, how was the weekend? How you feeling? How was your Sunday?
Yeah, man, feeling all right, man. Feeling all right. You know, it's another, closer to that number one pick. Actually, I like where we're at right now, though. I like being number two. I kind of like being number two because, then, you can't. It takes a little pressure off you. It takes a little pressure off you, whether it's Mendoza or Moore. It's a little pressure off you, especially if more, if more declares, whoever picks number, or whoever decides to move up to number one, all the pressure's on them, and they have to pick the right guy. We can just fall back and pick whoever's there. Makes a little decision a little bit easier for us. So I think we're in a good spot right now. But the team that's in front of us, we do play them in 3 weeks, so we'll see what happens.
I know we're gonna do a deep dive, just kind of being at the second overall pick, just kind of how we feel about that. Obviously, there's the game that Mendoza had. Ty Simpson was playing over this yesterday, so we're definitely gonna talk about kind of where we sit. But we're gonna chop it up about this game. We're gonna talk winners and losers, kind of some of the main takes from this game. We're gonna ask a couple questions to the chat, so guys, get ready for that. One thing I do want to say is, hey, shout out to everybody. We had an event yesterday. Spicy Raiders, she put together an event. Did a really good job. Good showing. A lot of people went ahead and popped through. Shout out to Fu Chris for showing up, man. Got to link up with him, chop it up. But coming all the way from Australia, shout out to Afakasi. He was able to show up. Man, we sat there and talked for a couple hours, man, and it was good. It was good to kind of see him in person, face to face, and chop it up. So shout out to him. And look, the one thing, as much as our Raiders have not had a good history, the last couple decades, our fan base is definitely kind of been torn apart for a while. I think this is probably the closest we've been all together in just one movement of, I think we all kind of want a top draft pick for the most part, not all, but I think the majority. The one thing that I love about doing this is, meeting guys like you, Severe, like Chris, but also when you go do these events, never in my life would I thought a guy from Australia comes over and you kind of just, through just doing this content, creating stuff, being on YouTube, you actually can link up, have a conversation, and, just put names to faces. And so this is definitely one thing outside of just how bad our Raiders are. This is definitely one benefit from doing this thing, is just kind of creating that community and kind of having that, man. So I had fun yesterday. Had fun, and shout out to everybody that was able to pull through and rock out. But man, this game was rough. We're gonna dive into it. But let's say what's up to the chat. Dominic in the building. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you. Dank D is in the building as well. Appreciate you rocking here with us. Jeff, man, we said what's up to you, man. First one in the building. Appreciate you. What up, Dre? What is happening, man? LS, make sure you're a part of the team. Double tap. Yes, sir. If you guys can, double tap that screen. It just basically hits the like button. We definitely appreciate it. We hit you guys on Sundays after the game, whatever game we played, Monday night, Thursday night. We hit you up after the game. We also break down game film on Wednesdays. And be sure, check in with us in the offseason, because we do a little bit. We have a little bit of fun. We'll start them, bench them, cut them. Y'all know, we have a little bit of fun. Some blind rankings, but at the same time, we're going to try to break down some game film of some of these top prospects that are going into the draft. And man, if we get a top pick, not only is that a hell of a pick in the first round, but that's a hell of a pick every single round thereafter. Second round, third round, it definitely puts you in position to really make some moves and do some things. And so we're going to break down some game film, at least try to in the offseason. So definitely tap in with us. But LS, man, I appreciate you rocking Art Right in the building as well. What's happening? Lunatic in the building. What's going on? We go into this 20. This
Whoa.
5.
Don't get ahead of yourself now.
Don't jump the gun there.
Don't get ahead of yourself. 2035, man. Hey, hold your horses on that one.
All right. Let's see. We got Johnson Studios. What's going on, man? Trade the first pick. All right, man. We're going to talk about it towards the tail end. For sure, man. Appreciate you rocking with us. All right, let's see. All right, appreciate everybody in the building. Again, double tap that screen. You got the Severe Raider. I'm 805 Raider, Real Talk, Raider Nation. That is my channel. We also got Chris is usually with us, Protect Show Podcast, but he is living his best life. He's doubling up on those cruises, man. Shout out to him. Keep doing it, man. I wish I was on a cruise and not watching this goddamn team half the time.
You know what? I need to get Chris's connect on these cruises because Pete Carroll's going to need something to do next year when he's not our coach anymore. So that's going to be.
Yeah, and we first got to get him we first got to get a hold of his FanDuel bookie,
man,
whatever it is, man.
Hey man, hey,
that's step one in the process.
That bookie made a call today. Whoever it was, sure he caught. You saw the red phone ringing on the sideline. Like,
I'm telling you
what time it is.
Man, Jeff, you're saying KC missed a field goal. Hey, I got the under in that game. I think it was 44. Man, we'll see how that pulls off. But hey, that's Houston. They're kind of we got them coming up in a couple weeks here as well. So that's going to be really interesting. But look, guys, remember, hit that sub button if you guys want to get included in the chat, man. We're going to chop it up about this game. We lose 17, man, 24. Look, fun fact about this game, and Severe, we were talking about it in backstage right before we jumped on, is the funny part was at the very end of this game, there was a delay game penalty that kind of moved the ball into field goal range. The over-under was a very interesting number. And Pete Carroll decides to trot the field goal unit on the field with, I believe, 4 seconds left to put a little extra time on the clock. We go ahead and kick that field goal. Last time I checked, it's pissed off a lot of people putting some money on the game. The over-under was 40.5, and we just squeaked away and put that thing over 40.5 to get it to 41, man. I'm telling you, I've been betting on sports a long time, and it is wild how good Vegas is. I will say, like, not just in this case, but how, like, Vegas is so damn spot on. The amount of times that I will do prop bets, and I shit you not, I will lose or win a prop bet by like a half, like by basically a yard.
Yeah. And
I just don't know how they are just that damn good, or do we throw that fun word out of rigged a little bit? But before I say that, man, it's very wild. What's your thoughts on it? And chat, let me know too.
Yeah, man, Vegas just happens to be just so right. So no, man. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. These people, they obviously know some of the they're some of the smartest people, in the world when it comes to this kind of thing. And there's like literally like billions of dollars riding on them being, right or wrong. So are there situations where that they nudge things in certain directions? I'm sure, but overall, you at least have to be pretty close for it to happen one way or the other. So but the fact that we actually kicked that field goal, that was just like that was unfathomable. Like, that is very suspicious. Like, that is because there's no time's going to be left on the clock. You had 4 seconds. So in order that you'd have to kick the field goal, recover an onside kick, and Hail Mary and 4 seconds, like, it was never going to happen. So the fact that he kicked it, like, it was pointless. It was pointless unless you're like you just want to give Carlson some reps or something like that. But other than that, it was pointless.
I mean, it really was. Yeah. And like, to your point, like, maybe you want to get Carlson kick a field goal. Obviously you can get a little bit of momentum, a little bit more confidence if you make that field goal, but there was no reason to kick that field goal. You take a knee, you get the hell out, and you move on. You lose, 14-24, but I'm telling you, Vegas is good. I don't know, and I'm with you, right? They got
That was a practice kick.
yeah. The analytics that they have working for them is wild, but at the same time, you never know. They obviously got access to maybe some people.
Push, nudge, yeah.
Exactly. So we got a couple people responding, but destroying the weights. What's going on, man? You're saying Pickett should have started a long time ago. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Unless you're saying I'm real interested to see if Pete rolls with Kenny Pickett next week. We'll talk about that in just a minute, man. Hummer in the building. What's going on, man? Just signed on, waiting for Patricia Mahomeless, about to cry. Yeah, we'll see how that game works out, man. Dre, Vegas wins again. I'm telling you, the amount of people that were pissed off, because if you go, the over-under was 40.5, and with our offense, we're not going to score a lot of points. That was kind of on you kind of knew we were going to struggle against a good Denver defense. Yeah. But then defense also, Denver's also not, they're hit or miss. They can score a lot of points. They can come out a little bit flat. You just never know how they're going to perform offensively. And so the under could have been a pretty good bet. And what I've heard is there's a shit ton of people that were not happy about that at all. D-Mokes, what's going on, man? Good seeing you in the building. It's easy to be good when you're calling the shots. And to follow up with that, Dank, you're saying it's classified as sports entertainment. You got that right. Funny. WWE is classified as sports entertainment as well. So yeah. No conspiracy theories. We're not throwing anything out there, but we're just saying. We are just saying. So, all right, let's do this. Oh, shit, we got Angelo. What's going on, brother? Good seeing you, man. Appreciate you popping in here.
Close to my guy, Angelo. You guys, you guys want some good boxing content, man. He's usually on this channel with Charles Raymore, I think it's the guy's name. Put it in the chat. I always forget the guy's name, but it's real good boxing talk. They had some good fight last night. I think it went the wrong way, but it's a good fight last night, man. And they had a great live on it, man. Just the commenting, giving you guys the blow by blow. It was real good live. So if you're a boxing fan, MMA fan, make sure you go over there and check that guy out.
Yeah, 100%. Jason, man, I see you. What's going on, man? Appreciate you popping in. Dank, you're saying the refs got more power than the president. And so before we jump to this game, this is a very good just topic, because this is something that I've kind of talked about a little bit when people talk about just kind of sports. And obviously you have all the controversies and people basically being, arrested, and then they got to actually handle legal stuff as it relates to just tampering and stuff like that. But here's my thing. I'll tell you right now, if you could get to anybody, the refs, without question, could be ones that could alter a game, especially in basketball. Basketball is wild how you could alter that. Refs, man, they could. It's not that they're getting paid millions upon millions of dollars. The average ref is not getting paid a whole lot. And so if you could, if you could motivate somebody with a little bit extra, making their pockets a little bit extra heavy, the refs might be the ones you could get to. I could never see a player or coach truly try to sway something. Like maybe basketball is different because you could be just a player that gets 2 minutes a game or what have you. But like in football and in coaching, I'd struggle to see where someone could actually purposefully put their career at risk to where you can never play again and you may never get a contract. Money's going to run thin real quick. But I could definitely see refs try to sway some things a little bit, because then it's kind of like a judgment call. It's like a pass interference, right? You could say, man, that's a horrible call, but it happens so quick, it could be judgment. I could see refs kind of turning the table a little bit. Severe, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, football, but see that there's so many different things you can do with football to kind of, with basketball, obviously the refs with foul calls and stuff like that, they can really, really control the game a lot. And there's less players on the field or on the court. So it like each play has a little bit more magnitude, because you can influence the game more because there's only 10 guys on the court at the same time. So you can really just influence the game that way. But football, I mean, same way. I mean, if you really want to call hold, you can call holding on damn near every play. You probably call pass interference on a lot of plays as well. So you can do some stuff with football. We've heard about some things. Some guys doing some stuff. And we just see what happens. Some of these play calls down the stretch. Like this kicking this field goal. That penalty right there at the end, that was kind of questionable. So I mean, I think it's difficult. It's more difficult in football, but you definitely can influence it, especially like I said, if it's close. If it's close, you can definitely make an impact.
You can, without question. I'll let you say basketball is whack. That's not because I'm a Pelicans fan. Oh, you're a Pelicans fan. Man. Pelicans and a Raider fan. I feel like you should be
rough. Zion is hurt more than Devon Diablo.
Right. What up? John Benton, what up, Coach? What's going on, brother? Carol's got to get up out of here. We're going to talk about it. He was ruining my Ami. I know, man.
Was Ami in on that kick return? Was Ami in on the kick return? I can't remember.
It was a punt return. Was Ami in a punt return? Yeah. Oh, man. If he was, Coach, he's probably the gunner getting down there.
Yeah, man. Clay, check. Yeah, you got to check that.
I'll watch the film.
That film.
I'll watch that film.
Check that film. I have a feeling Ami was in there.
We'll definitely check out that game film without question.
Jason, 3 or 4 times if he was there, just make sure he's all right.
Oh man, Coach will never tap in with us again. Jason, you're saying NFL has too many security guys that will catch it quick. Loon, gambling is a hell of a drug. It is, man. It's tough. It is tough. And so, Jeff, don't forget the concussion advisors can affect the game also. They call out a player in question or look at the last year when Mahomes cracked his helmet. They never took him out and stopped the game. There's always, and the tough part is there's so many questionable things that could happen. And to Dank's point, he's like, you can pick it up, you can pick it apart. The game is fast. It is. That's why it's tough to definitively say if a penalty should be called or not. It's tough. So, all right. So it was just funny. Look, over under. It was kind of wild. So, let's talk about this game for just a quick second. We're going to go over winners and losers in just a minute. But Severe, man, I'll throw it to you. We'll take a look at some of the stats. I'm not going to put them up on the screen, but obviously it was a very unbalanced game when you talk about the time of possession.
Yes.
And that's where it's tough, right? Yeah, the time of possession. And I'm going to I'll show it right now. I'm not going to show it. I'm just going to say it. The time of possession was 39 minutes for the Broncos, 20 minutes for us. They almost doubled our time of possession, basically doubled our time of possession. The Broncos did a hell of a job of methodically moving the ball downfield. We continuously outside of that very first drive, we just couldn't move the ball in any convincing way, right? And so time of possession was rough, but it really forced just kind of how the game was going to be played. And this is the reason why towards the second half of the game, we really didn't see much of Genty. The running game started to fall off. We didn't really try to run the ball at all. It took Genty out of the game. And so with that time of possession, man, what's your initial thoughts? Just kind of how the flow of the game went, and give us kind of a rundown of your feeling of the game.
Yeah, man, it's same old Raiders, the same offense. Coincidentally, we get rid of our offensive coordinator. Offense looks exactly the same, right? Remember, we hear all the complaints about Brock Bowers. He's not getting targeted enough. Why isn't Brock Bowers getting these targets? How many targets does Brock Bowers have this game? He had 5. We threw or Raider fans threw a fit about him only getting 3 targets. When Chip Kelly was offensive coordinator, last week he only got 4. This week he only gets 5. One thing I'm not mad about is that Jack Bech led the team in targets. I'm cool, man. Hey, get these young guys all the playing time they can get. Shedrick Jackson caught a touchdown. Hey, I'm good with that. Get these guys as much run and as many touches as possible because this is a sunk year. Hashtag SS. We already know what it is. Caleb Rogers played the entire game. I'm good with that. Like, get all these young guys out there. The Broncos did most of their damage. It's like they're two like really big drives. So it was like I think it was the first drive of the game, and was it their first drive after halftime? I believe. I think just between those two drives alone, that was like 16 minutes plus time of possession. So you know that they essentially on those two drives by themselves had almost as much time, possession of the ball as we had the entire game. So you know it's hard to get any kind of offensive rhythm going. And once we got out of our scripted plays, we couldn't do a damn thing. You know, for as well as the offensive line looked, pass pro for the most part looked much better for a large part of this game. You know, Genty still couldn't do anything in the run game. You know, he's being greatly outproduced by guys that were drafted much later than him, undrafted guys too. Like it's sad at this point. It's sad. So, you know, like we have not a lot to look forward to, you know, down the stretch of this season, man. It's outside of seeing where we draft.
And you know, you take a look at the stats, right? Geno, obviously, Kenny Pickett came in, threw the ball 11 times. That was at the tail end of the game. So you're definitely trying to play comeback, and you're trying to get back into the game, or at least try to press that ball downfield. So he was 8 of 11. Geno was 13 of 21, 116 yards. Did get that touchdown to Brock early in the game, that very first drive. Severe, to your point, it's all scripted. Those first 10, 12 plays are typically scripted. So not surprising that you had some good movement. You kind of understood what your game plan was. And then after that, it's really after that first couple series or that first quarter, then the adjustments start to come into play. And we just did not obviously adjust well. It's something we've struggled with for a long time, not just this season, but we've struggled for a very long time at adjustments. And obviously all boils down to coaching. But, you know, here's the biggest thing is Geno Smith comes in. Kenny Pickett, or gets hurt. We don't know really what the magnitude of that injury is. First, he kind of had injuries to his throwing hand on his fingers. That looked like it was going to kind of put him out a little bit, but he came in. He actually threw a couple good passes, made some passes downfield, so it looked like maybe it wasn't going to affect him. But then all of a sudden, he gets hit, and he gets he kind of falls awkwardly to the ground on his shoulder. So that's what really put him into the locker room. Yeah. So
making a question pass to Brock, making a pretty nice pass too, like running to his right, throwing across his body. You know, Brock running across the field, delivered an on-target throw. Brock almost dropped it. He got lucky. He was able to hold on to it.
Yeah, 100%. And Jeff, you're saying, no INTs. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. Our white 3 drives of almost 9 minutes.
Man, that many. I know for sure it was 2. It was 3. That's crazy.
Yeah, like that's. I mean, they methodically. Because here's the thing, is like Bo Nix didn't really press the ball downfield too much. No. It was a lot of the running game, and it was a lot of short to mid-range passes. That's all it was. And so they did a hell of a job of just continuously moving the sticks. It wasn't about trying to go deep and beat us deep and score quick. It was, we're going to methodically move down the field and just move the sticks. And man, that's all they did, which was wild.
Which is ironic because, you know, they talked. I don't know if you listen to the game, if you watch the game with the sound on. Sometimes I watch it with the sound on. Sometimes I watch it with the sound off, depending on what mood I'm in. But the day I had it with the sound on, and they were talking about during the broadcast, like how mad Sean Payton was at his game plan that prior week, right? Or the prior game against the Raiders, the game that was, you know, what was it, 10-9, something like that, some ugly like that, some disgusting score. So he was mad at himself for that. And you know, and this is purely speculation, but I think he was so mad at himself because he went into that game. It was a short week. I think he went in there preparing for a Patrick Graham defense. And I think this week he went into the game preparing for a Pete Carroll defense. And you see the results look much different.
Yeah, much different. And you're right. It's a really good point, right? We played them earlier in the season. And now they knew what kind of defense they were going to look at. And you methodically pick apart. And again, I got to go back and look at the game film. I know earlier in the game I saw us continuously use that cover 3. They were trying to show two high safeties, and then Jeremy Chin would always drop down into that flat, and so you can kind of just know that it was a cover three. And so if you're going to try to play a cover three, then that means that you can methodically, if you have a good enough quarterback that can kind of hit those short to mid-range throws and be good at hitting timing throws, you can pick apart a cover three all day long. And so I think that's kind of what we saw a little bit. One thing that I will say is that what's really tough is no matter what offense we ran, whether it be with Chip Kelly or now we have Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen is now the offensive coordinator. This is his second game. We kind of see we still see the same exact things that we saw with Chip Kelly. Here's the funny part. It's still no different with the running game.
No.
I mean, Pete Carroll came out and said that we want to run the ball more. And so you fired Chip Kelly to potentially run the ball more. And we don't run the ball more. So it's like we are either Pete Carroll just has no clue what he's doing at this point in his coaching career, his head coaching career, or we're just getting lied to, in my opinion. Like, it's tough. It's really tough to watch. And, I don't know. We'll kind of see how that plays out. But here's the question, guys. I'm going to get to just a little bit of the chat, some of the comments. But, guys, think about this, and Severe, think about this is by the time we kind of get through these the quarterback talks, or before we go on to the running backs, gonna ask the question. Chat, let me know. I'm gonna read off some of these chats. But do you think it's time for Kenny Pickett to actually get the start? Obviously, Gino goes down. We'll see just kind of what the injury looks like. I mean, it's a shoulder injury. I think it was on his throwing arm, so that definitely can play a role as to whether or not he's going to come back. But I'll throw that question to you, Severe, in just a second. But LS, you're saying Pete Carroll is donating stem cells to Gino first recovery as we speak. Maybe. You never know. He's going to do whatever he can to get Gino back on that field. Jeff, Bonix 31-38. That's a great day for a quarterback. LS, you don't need to stretch the ball downfield to beat us. How many times RJ Harvey's open for the check down? Both check down, I think he purposefully was trying to really look for these running backs in the shallow routes, because if you could hold those flat defenders, and if they're trying to come down from the safety position like Jeremy Chin was at times, if you can hold those slot defenders or those flat defenders, that just gives the running back time to catch the ball and have room to turn and make a move and get some space. And so, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm not a big fan of that cover three consistently as a base defense.
No.
Young DB, mock draft season. What's going on, man? I know. It is. We see Alec M in the building. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you popping in here. All right, guys, let me know. Here's the question before we go on to the running game, and we're going to go winners and losers on offense and defense. Chat, let us know. Is it time to see Kenny Pickett? But Severe, I'm going to throw it to you first, man. Do you think we should see Kenny Pickett? Let's see. Let's say Gino can go. Let's see everything's healthy, what have you. Do you think it's time to give Kenny Pickett a chance?
Doesn't matter either way to me. It doesn't matter either way to me. I think people are getting real excited about Kenny Pickett producing in garbage time when essentially the game was over. They're seeing a lot of softer coverages. And even then, right? Like there's some of this, like his decision making is like he's a buffoon. Like he scrambles to get a first down, and you're trying to preserve clock, but you don't get out of bounds. It throws a pass in the middle of the field. Like, what are you doing? Like, we got bailed out on the Tyler Lockett one, but I think it was a pass before that. He throws the ball in, like dog. Like, what are you? Like, you're an idiot, bro. How long you been in the NFL for, bro? You don't know how to manage the clock in a 2-minute drill? It's ridiculous. So I just think either way we're gonna lose. The storyline is a little more interesting if it's Kenny Pickett going back to play the I think it's the Eagles next, right? Kenny Pickett going back to play the Eagles. Yeah, Kenny Pickett revenge game, two glove Kenny out there about to get his ass whipped anyway. But two glove Kenny out there, versus Jalen Hurts. I think that would make for a little bit more interesting storyline. But either way, bro, it's like is pick your poison. How do you want your ass whipping? With this guy or this guy? Like it's gonna be the same either way.
And I'm with you. I'm gonna kind of give you my take on it. Hummer saying yes, Pickett. What up, Brandon? What's going on, man? You're saying whatever happened to the days of the 4-3 or 3-4 being a base defense. Yeah, but remember that's the alignment. You could drop into any coverage you want out of any front, but we love that 4-3 defense. I'm actually a big 3-4 defense guy. I love the 3-4, but we've been a 4-3 for a long time. Long time. Alex saying Kenny Pickett, no world beater either. Dre, you're saying Kenny knows we need to lose Severe. Jeez, he knows the mission. He should be him and Dylan Farm just knows
investigation,
it
man.
suck, but
Investigation. He didn't go out of bounds. I was like, oh, bro, somebody
right.
need to subpoena his bank accounts.
Oh man, Mr. Seaport City, what's going on, man? All right, you're saying hell no to Pickett. He might win us a few games. We need to lose right now.
No, my God, no. You see, people don't know. People don't remember Kenny Pickett. That's the thing. You think this little garbage time stretch is some indication of what Kenny Pickett is? It wasn't even great in that, to be honest with you. Like I said, soft ass coverage, a couple big plays to Brock, one big one to Shedrick, and then makes everything else look okay. Then he take like 2 sacks. Then he take 2 sacks in garbage. Like, he take 2 sacks in garbage time, right? Like come on, wait.
I think he did.
It's like you guys think you guys go out there thinking you about to get like prime Drew Brees or something like that, bro. You about to be in for a rude awakening, or you about to get Matt McGloin.
I'm telling you. So, Boy George Strait, what's going on, brother? We need John Madden incarcerated. We need something. We need something outside of Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
All right, at this point, it doesn't matter. I'm with you. So here's the thing for me. I'll be honest. I'm kind of with you. Kenny Pickett doesn't really move the needle, right? It was a really good throw to Cedric Jackson. It was. You can't take anything away from it. It was a good throw, impressive throw. But the thing is there's a lot of times in garbage time, the backup quarterback comes in and you see them do some decent things. But give a full week of prep of a defense knowing Kenny Pickett is going to be the starting quarterback, and Kenny Pickett will be the Kenny Pickett that people have seen before. I mean, he's not going to move the needle. He's been in too many places at this point where he's proven that he is not the starting guy. And so, at this point, I would say if Geno's healthy, just roll with Geno so we can continue to lose games and we can find ourselves with a top draft pick. Right now we sit at 2. We're going to talk about it at the very end. But right now, look, does Kenny Pickett give us a little more mobility and to be able to get out of the pocket and use his legs? He showed it a little bit today. Yeah, he does. Geno Smith doesn't do a great job of moving in the pocket and getting out of trouble, but you could be as mobile as you want. Even Kenny Pickett isn't mobile enough because we're going against the Eagles next week. Even Kenny Pickett isn't mobile enough to get out of harm's way with this offensive line. Like, the quarterbacks will get their ass handed to them. And so I really don't think it matters. Kenny Pickett isn't even the future. Kenny Pickett ain't coming back next year. I would be shocked if Kenny Pickett was on this team next year. And so the thing is, it really doesn't matter at this point. Play whoever you want, because I do think no matter who plays, they're not going to move the needle.
No.
They're not good enough.
No.
And plus, for all the people that want to see Genty run the ball, at this point, it doesn't really matter. You want Genty to get 30 carries a game. So, it doesn't matter who's at quarterback at this point.
You got a third of that today, I think, right? I think you got 10, 11 today, 10 or 11 today.
So we're about to talk about some running game. And then we're going to go winners and losers. So we'll go Ashton Genty. 10 carries, 30 yards. I'll go to his receptions as well, because I think they really try to get him included in that passing game pretty early on. But 10 carries.
During the script.
Yeah, you're right. 10 carries, 30 yards. I mean, we could just go back. We'll go R.G. Harvey, a second-round draft pick. Adam Prentice, a fullback, 2 carries for 22 yards. Jaleel McLaughlin, 4 carries, 22 yards, 5.5 average. Tyler Batty, 4 carries, 16 yards, a 4-yard average. We can go back to our running back, Genty, 10 carries, 30 yards. No shot to you, Jeff. You said nothing for Mostert. Mostert didn't get a single carry. The thing is, I think that we abandoned the run, and somewhat of the score kind of dictated that. We couldn't get any momentum whatsoever after that first drive. After that punt return for a touchdown, I'll be honest, it felt like they kind of went in a little bit of a panic mode and just got out of any balance that they showed in that first drive. And it was 10 carries. I could probably go back. I'm going to watch the game film. Did Genty get maybe 8 of those carries in the first half and then 2 carries in the second? I don't know the exact number, but it felt like Genty didn't get any carries in the second half, if anything. So, look, guys, let me know what your thoughts. I know people are already kind of talking about it. Severe, what's your thoughts of the running game? Thoughts of Genty? We're now 13 games in. We're 2-11. And Genty's had one good game against Chicago, 138 yards, I believe he had that game.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it has been really, really bad play. Not great O-line play, but number 6 overall, you expect something. So, man, what's your thoughts on the run game so far? And I'll get to the chat here in just a second.
I mean, as you said it, so eloquently, I was always trying to find a way to put it, but you put it perfectly. When you're drafted that high as a running back, you got to make your own magic, right? You got to make your own magic. How many times have we seen those guys, those elite guys, those special guys, those, quasi or generational guys? How many times have we seen them? Hey, you know what? Make some guys miss, hit a guy with a spin, juke a guy, get 10, 15 yards, right? How many times, like even when we see Genty like make a play, it's like him like rumbling and like breaking a tackle, and like that's the only time we see him do anything. Like that's not this ain't Pop Warner, bro. Like that's not going to work over consistent, or if it does work for a short period of time, you're gonna be out the league in a few years. It's like he's in the wrong scheme. We got to get him out of the zone scheme. We got to get him in the power scheme. We got to get him dedicated rushing lanes, because he's just not seeing it. He's not seeing it, and we see it time and time again where he's not making the proper reads on these runs, and he's leaving lots of yards on the field. So even though our offensive line hasn't been great, there's been plenty of occasions. You guys can go back and look at our lives and look, and like 805 breaks it down brilliantly. He shows you all these instances, what a running back should be looking for, what's actually there, and what Genty actually does. And if this was anybody else, if Zamir White, if Raheem Mostert, if anybody else was doing the things that Ashton Genty is doing, you guys would be apoplectic about it. But because you guys are working off the assumption that Ashton Genty is special based on nothing he's done in the NFL, nothing he's done athletically testing, based off what he did in the Mountain West, you guys are giving him the benefit of the doubt, which is fine. He's a rookie. Give him some time. I'm not saying he's a bust, but don't spare him from any criticism, especially when he deserves criticism.
So, and I'm with you. Here's the thing. In Central Coast, Russ, what's going on? Appreciate you popping in. You said Genty a bust, or is it the O-line? And here's the thing is, I've never been a fan of picking a running back in the first round, because unless you are picking number 28, 29 to 32, like where it's the final piece that you need, right? You were in the playoffs last year. You made a deep run, and you just need that running back, and that running back is that guy that what you would maybe think is a generational talent, right? People like to throw that out there. Then okay, if that's the final piece you need, and that guy's there. When you're at 6, no. When you're at 6, I don't think there's any running back that's worth a number 6 or a top 10 pick, because you have so many issues. Unless you got one of the better offensive lines in the league. And the thing is, if you have a good offensive line, there's a really good chance you're not picking top 10, because I'm a big Bill in the trenches guy. But the thing is your question's perfect. Genty a bust, or is it the O-line? The thing is that if it's the O-line, then once the O-line, if you're giving Genty that excuse that the O-line's bad, so Genty's bad, well, then the moment the O-line is good and now he starts to see success, then guess what? You could have picked a third-round running back and you would find success as well. And so in that case, it's not that just that Genty is a bust, I would say, because look, we could fix the O-line next year. Exactly. And then all of a sudden, Genty becomes good.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to come in here and see, I told you so. I told you so, Genty's good. And I'm going to sit there and go, I told you so. It wasn't Genty. It's the offensive line. The offensive line will determine the success of the running back. Now, the problem that I have with Genty is that in severe, like you mentioned, right? At number 6 overall, you have to make your own magic. You got to be able to kind of have your own ability to make things happen when the thing in front of you isn't really working. And when you can make that happen is when you are in open space. When you're in open space and you have that vision, you make the right cuts, you have that explosiveness. It's like you saw with James Cook. I don't know if you guys watched the Bills game. Like James Cook, once he got in open space and got to second level, he made the right cuts. He made the right moves to get an opening, and all of a sudden, bang, he's gone for 40, 50 yards. That's him making his own magic. Yes, the offensive line did a good job and got him to the second level, but he did everything after that. Exactly. Genty hasn't really shown that at all on a consistent basis. And we've shown multiple times where Genty catches a screen or catches a pass in the flats. And he might make one guy miss, but then he really just scampers for about a 12-yard gain. Yeah. That's really about it. Or he makes the wrong cut and cuts into a defender or cuts into the flow of the defense. And you're sitting there going, holy shit, if you would have cut outside, bang, he's gone. Exactly. He just doesn't have that factor to him. And that tells me you weren't worth the number 6 overall pick. And when we do improve this offensive line and the offensive line does get better, it's not that Genty is just that much better. It's that the offensive line now is making opportunities for a running back, and we could have gotten someone in the 3rd round that potentially could do the same thing. Now, if the offensive line gets better and Genty's now getting the second level, he's breaking tackles, he's making the right cuts, and bang, he rips off a 50, 60, 70-yarder.
That's different.
It's different, but we're not seeing that even when he has those opportunities.
Exactly.
So that's the hard part. So, look, I'm not, and I know, Severe, you said it, I'm not saying he's a bust. I just never would have picked him at 6. Exactly. For all the reasons that I just stated. And Severe, I know you've been on the same page as well. Chris has been on the same page. And so it's tough. It is tough. What a plethora in the building. What's going on? Alec, O-line is horrible. It's been struggling without question. Daniel in the building as well. Appreciate you popping in here. Let's see. Hummer's saying we need that huge O-line on the practice squad bulldozer as a running back. I think you're thinking, Laki Tassi?
Probably, yeah, Laki Tassi.
Yeah. Hey, when you see those rugby highlights, it's a wild thing. It's a wild thing.
Yes.
Laker Nation, what's going on? Appreciate you.
Hey, man, shout out to Laker Nation, man. Shout out to Laker Nation. He's been saying since preseason, he's been saying Geno's buns. He's like, man, watch. Y'all about to find out the hard way. He's been saying for a long time, man. So props to you, brother. You caught that. You're absolutely right, man. You were absolutely right.
Yeah. And here's the thing. George Borstrait. Genty is learning how to run the NFL. So I was actually thinking about this past week. Because, look, he's just not making the right cuts, right? And you try to go back and you look at Boise. And that was one of my concerns because he was so good at just breaking tackles that he really didn't need the vision per se, because he knew he could run through 80% of the tackles that was going to come his way. But at the same time, one of my biggest concerns was he going to be able to adapt to the speed of the NFL? You're going from the Mountain West to the NFL. And I've said it before. Going from the Mountain West to the NFL is like a true freshman playing in the SEC. Yeah. The speed is going to be so different. And the more and more I started thinking about it, I'm sitting there going, I think that's probably what the problem is. It's not that Genty doesn't have bad vision or didn't have bad vision in the Mountain West. Exactly. It's just that the speed is so fast, he's not processing it quickly enough. And I think that's where the hang-up is. And that was one of my biggest concerns with him was he going to be able to adapt to the speed of the NFL? And I think that's probably what the issue is, because we've shown it multiple times. He doesn't make the right cuts. He doesn't see the hole develop properly. And part of that could be he's just not processing the speed of the NFL. And the more and more I start thinking about it, I was like, holy shit, that might be a big problem. And not to say that he won't adapt, or learn. But
Yeah.
man, I think that's a big issue. Severe, what's your thoughts on that?
No, I completely agree. It's a speed of the game. Not only the processing, so you have to make these decisions much, much faster, but it's almost like some of it is when you're like, if you ever play, like, anybody hear about an athlete that's been in the sport for a particular amount of time, and they talk about when they knew it was time to hang it up, and it's like when they would see a play there, but their body couldn't make the play. And I think there are some times where he'll see a lane, and a lane that if he was at Boise in the Mountain West, he'd be able to get through there. He was fast enough to get through there. But in the NFL, he's no longer fast enough to get through there. So he has to adapt. And that right there, that's something I don't think he can fix, right? Unless he drops weight, which is gonna harm other parts of his game, his tackle breaking. But like, just being able to see these openings and beat a guy through a hole, or like, outrun a guy to the edge. Like, you have to be able to do that in the NFL, especially if you were back picked in the first round. And he doesn't have that gear. It's just not there. You see, I mean, people talking about, somebody said, like, making people miss in the backfield. I saw Travion make a defensive player miss in the backfield, put one foot in the ground, get vertical, touchdown, right? Like, that's what, like, special athletes can do. And Genty is just not that level of an athlete. And he's never going to be that. So, he's Ichiro Suzuki. I said, he's never going to be, he's not going to be, Barry Bonds or Shohei Ohtani. He's not going to be a kind of guy that's going to hit home runs. He's going to get on base and make contact. Okay, you can still be a very good player making contact, hitting doubles, hitting for average. You can still be a very good, and that may just be what he is, just a guy that's going to hit for average.
Yeah, 100%, Alec, man. Our tackling was bad. We're going to talk about the defense here in just a second. Got a Broncos fan in here. Mile High Grow, what's going on? Appreciate you coming in here.
42 years, Mile High Grow. 42. Matter of fact, I made a comment on my last show.
42 years.
I think the Raiders won the Super Bowl. I think it was a Super Bowl against the Redskins. I think that was the last one. It was Super Bowl 18. That was played January of 1983. Thriller came out November of 1982. Thriller was a new album when the Raiders won the Super Bowl. People were listening to Thriller like, this is some of the best music I've ever heard in my life. Like, this is some great stuff. This disco rock fusion is amazing. Like, that was happening at that time. Like, it's crazy. And we're about to be Super Bowl 60 this year. We won Super Bowl 18.
And here's the thing, is I'll always know when the last time we won a Super Bowl until we win the next one. I always know when the last time we won it because I'm 42 years old. So we won it the year I was born. And so it's like, always, I know that math. I can math that math. So it's like, yeah, it's been brutal. It's been brutal. I have never seen one, and it's tough. It's tough. But C-Pole, man, you're throwing out a super chat to Severe, man. Severe, if you want to read this one out.
He said, my 14-year-old nephew can read the Raiders offense pre-snap. That is great. Maybe you should have your 14-year-old nephew get with Aston Genty, because it's been several times he can't read his own offense pre-snap, and he's ran the wrong way or made the wrong cutback or took the wrong lane. So maybe have your 14-year-old nephew call Ashton. They have a conversation. Maybe he can iron out those issues, because obviously he's got to figure it out, and our 6th overall pick doesn't.
I'm with you. It's tough. Art White, Genty doesn't have the speed. And it's so funny because when I said this in the offseason, that one of the things I just didn't think he would have the breakaway speed in the NFL. Everybody would point to the Oregon game. Every single person was like, but no. But did you see him against Oregon where he broke off for like a 60-yard? I'm sitting there going, okay, that's fine. But if you look at the body of work, I was like, I don't think he's got the break. I didn't think he'd have the breakaway speed in the NFL, and he hasn't shown it at all whatsoever. The one long run that he had, he broke the last tackle against the safety, and nobody else had an angle on him, and he only had about 20 more yards to run.
Yeah,
and so it's like he's basically had one long run at this point, and we're 13 games in. Yeah, 13.
And that's why I told people that a lot of his runs at Boise were not him outrunning people or him making a move on somebody, and it was him breaking a bunch of tackles. And then by the time he breaks all these tackles, it's like nobody left to tackle him in the backfield. So then he just runs, right? So it wasn't like he was like doing something. His tackle breaking was amazing. His contact balance was amazing, right? It's still good in the NFL. Obviously, it's not quite to the same level, but it's still been pretty good. You can see it in certain runs where he's making some guys miss or falling forward and getting some extra yardage. So it's still pretty good in NFL, but obviously it's not going to be to the same level. So he's not going to have that same kind of success. And the difference between being a great player and being like a backup in the NFL is like 5-10%, right? You make 5-10% more production, and that takes you from being a great player to a backup. A guy that's passing for 60%, that's a guy, okay, he can be an NFL starter. A guy that's throwing for 50%, he's on the bench somewhere. So like that 10% makes a difference. And like the 10% right now is the difference between him doing what he was doing at Boise and what we're seeing him do now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Tanner Jack. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you popping in here. LS Shador looks better than Geno ever had, though. He had a good game. Without question. I didn't see the game. I tried to watch a couple of his highlights or just like the touchdown passes. I think he ran one in as well. So he had a good game. I'll give him that. And Franklin Sinner said, I wanted Sanders at 6. Not going to lie, even though that may have been a reach, also quarterback is a position to take high.
Yeah. Not a fact.
And here's the thing.
Once he got to the third, I think 805 said it. Once he got to the third, man, it's like, why the hell not at this point?
I mean, I was sitting next to Leo and Fu Chris he liked Shador without question. And I had my concerns. I thought he was going to be a project, but I did not want him at 6. But as soon as he got past the third, I'm sitting there going, we need some help at the quarterback room. I'll let him sit for a season or two and learn. I mean, I would have pulled the trigger easily in the 4th, but obviously we didn't. But he had a good game, right? We'll see just kind of how he plays out and how it continues to roll with him. But he definitely had a good game. Won't take anything away from him.
Yeah, definitely.
Lucio in the building. What's going on, man? 49ers or Falcons? Not sure what you're talking about, but I appreciate you rocking in here.
Hold up, George. Boy, George Strait. Josh Jacobs was second that year in Offensive Rookie of the Year voting, and many people felt he was robbed because Kyler won it. They felt that the only reason they gave it to Kyler was because Kyler played the quarterback position and Jacobs played the running back position. So he didn't take a season to figure it out. He figured it out pretty quickly.
If I remember, you're right. And here's the thing: it's not. And the thing is, like with Genty, I know it's tough. Like, look, we could improve this offensive line, and then he can all of a sudden just be a good running back for us. You know what I'm saying? But either way, I just don't think it's really going to justify taking him at 6. And I hope moving forward, at least everybody that kind of rocks with us, we've kind of proved that picking a running back this early when you have so many other needs isn't the best thing in the world. It's not. It just doesn't really work out too well. We'll see what happens. What up, Rafa? Appreciate you throwing a super chat out there. Appreciate you, man. Guys, make sure you guys go hit up Rafa. Make sure you give him some support, man. Always doing some lives, man. You're always doing lives, man. I appreciate you throwing a super chat out there, man. LS, yeah. Josh Jacobs is doing his thing. I didn't see the game, but I definitely saw some clips as I was walking in and out of the room. Josh Jacobs, he was a solid running back, without question.
Yeah.
What up, Kevin? What's going on, brother?
My liker.
All right, so let's do this. Let's talk about receivers. All right, today, and we'll do some winners and losers after this, but let's rock out some stats real quick. Jack Besh, 6 receptions, 50 yards. Brock Bowers, 4 receptions, 46 yards with the touchdown. He got in that end zone. Tyler Lockett, 3 for 41. Cedric Jackson got that lone reception, but it was a 25-yarder for a touchdown. Trey Tucker, 2 for 24. Ian Thomas got involved a little bit. I think he got involved early. After that, not so much. And then you had Genty. They tried to get him involved early in the passing game. Got him 2 catches for 8 yards. Raheem Mostert. got one out of the backfield. So
Yeah.
obviously, guys, let me know what your thoughts are of the receiver core. But obviously, the first thing that'll pop out is you got Jack Besh, 6 receptions, 50 yards. Severe, man, what's your initial thoughts on just the receiver group? We didn't move the ball well, but
Yeah,
definitely got some
man.
people involved, man. What's your thoughts?
We got some people involved. I mean, we got Bowers the ball early on the touchdown pass, and I think that was our first drive of the game. And then he didn't get another reception until the third quarter. Not another reception. Scratch that. He didn't get another target until the third quarter. And then obviously Jack Besh, we got Jack Besh involved. I like to see that. I like to see that. A few of those catches, like 2 or 3 of them were in like kind of garbage time, but I don't care, man. Get the guy as much time on task as possible. If we ever want him to turn into anything as an NFL player, we got to get him some run. We got to get the ball in his hands, let him kind of get more used to being a part of an NFL offense. We spent a second-round pick on them, so we got to get some return on that investment, especially when there were some guys that I personally liked better than him. One of the guys being a guy that was opposite of him, in the Broncos uniforms, Pat Bryant. So, like, we got to get the guy involved. At this point, there's no reason not to get him more involved. One of the reasons that was speculated why he wasn't more involved in the passing game was because the presence of Jacoby Myers. Obviously, Jacoby Myers hasn't been here for several weeks. And Jack Besh still really hasn't been that involved. So it's no more excuses right now. Get him involved. And I fear the only reason he got as involved as he was today is because Dante Thornton wasn't out there. So, we'll see if that continues once Dante Thornton is recovered from his concussion. Tyler Lockett, third on the team in targets. Why? It makes no sense. Why? It's like he's 33 years old at this point. He probably won't be in the NFL next year. I'm sure if Pete Carroll's in the NFL, he's going to have some say about that. But if anybody else is coaching the Las Vegas Raiders, he won't be in the league next year. Get Shedrick Jackson some targets, right? Like, is Justin Shorter around? Get Justin Shorter some targets. It's like, why are we wasting our time with this older guy? It does nothing for us now or in the future, to be honest with you. So just give it up already. But by and large, man, like those guys really couldn't have that much of an impact on the game just because like we felt like we were always kind of like behind the 8 ball. And so like it was just hard to make any headway. So we'll see what happens against the Eagles. They have a great defensive line. I don't know what the condition of their secondary is, but if their secondary is healthy, they have a real good secondary as well. So I mean, it's gonna be a tough week for them next week.
It is, and it's severe. I'd step away for a second. But I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but here's the thing: like Jack Besh, good to see him get him involved, right? Got him involved. Here's the thing, though, is like obviously that first catch, I believe it was his first catch, but the first catch was broken coverage downfield. So that it's not necessarily him working to get open. The second one, he basically found a soft spot in the zone. Good job, right? But then after that, all the other catches were basically in garbage time, right? The defense is going to play soft. They're going to play off. They're basically going to give you everything underneath. And so it's not like he's working his way to get open. The thing is, with Jack Besh, again, I like seeing him get involved, but get involved earlier. Get involved when defenses are playing you true to coverage, right? And that's when I want to see him be able to actually capitalize or at least just show he's improving. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. Brock Bowers here. Brock Bowers had the touchdown catch early on, right? He got a couple more catches, but this was my biggest concern. You let Jacoby Myers go, or you don't bring in a true number 1 receiver, they're going to be able to match up Brock Bowers with starting corners, your number 1 corners, and tight ends aren't meant to beat number 1 corners consistently, right? Like Brock Bowers is going to match up and beat a lot of the corners in the National Football League, but when he has to go up against the top corners in the National Football League, it's a tough go.
Yeah. And
that's what happens when you can't move any other defenders off of Brock Bowers. When all you have is Tyler Lockett and Trey Tucker, Like it's not a recipe for success. And when we let Jacoby Myers walk, I knew this was going to happen. And we're seeing it where Brock Bowers like, look, he's going to get some catches. Don't get me wrong, right? But the way that he's going to get his catches is if you can capitalize it in zone coverage, where he's not locked up one-on-one with a corner or one of their better defenders. And so it's going to be a rough go for Brock Bowers moving forward, and I think it's going to be an even rougher go for Trey Tucker. He had 2 catches, 24 yards. Now Trey Tucker is going to have to work and act like potentially the number 1 receiver, because the one guy that I didn't see out there, and I wanted to look real quick, was Deontay Thornton active today?
No, he was out with a concussion.
Okay, he was out. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. And so Trey Tucker has to look and work like the number 1 receiver. We all know he's not a number 1, not a number 2.
No.
And so this is the position we kind of put ourselves in. And so by not identifying a true number 1 and getting them and working them in and developing them, Brock Bowers is going to struggle moving forward. And so, look, Jack Besh, I'd like seeing him get involved. I love seeing the catches. But man, do that when defenses are playing true to form. When they're covering the field like they're supposed to, do it at that point. So then we know you're actually developing and you're getting better. The only thing I'll say is, and Severe, I agree, right? Tyler Lockett, him being, getting the 3rd most catches on the team. Obviously him and Geno have that rapport, so it's not surprising. Tyler Lockett was one of the guys that I wanted to bring in earlier in the season when free agency was going on, because I thought he could have been a good safety blanket for Geno to start out, but that didn't happen. And we picked him up in the middle of the season because we let Jacoby Myers go, which at that point, I don't even know why you bring Tyler Lockett, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You did it the worst time ever, but whatever. Cedric Jackson. When we did our 53, like our final projection of the 53-man roster, I think you, myself, and Chris, we were kind of like, okay, the 2 guys that were kind of on the bubble making this team was Bachman and Cedric Jackson.
Yes.
And all 3 of us said Cedric Jackson.
Exactly.
Because he brings the speed. He's youth. He brings just a different element to this receiver core that can stretch the field. So we thought definitely give this kid a chance based on the last game that he had in preseason. He looked like he was he could give this offense a spark if we needed it, right?
Yeah.
Did you see Pete Carroll's presser after?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Pete Carroll.
Did he slander the kid?
No. He said that it was great to see, and I don't quote me on it, but this is basically what he said.
Crazy.
He basically said it was great to see Cedric Jackson, get the touchdown, get the catch, because he was the most impressive out of the young players in preseason. He literally said he was one of the more impressive players out of the young players in preseason. I'm sitting there going, wait a second. So this kind of goes back to moving Jordan Meredith back to guard, because Jordan Meredith had a great season last year at guard. But you're like, let's move him back. Let's move him back to guard after starting him at center the whole entire season. But then you go off and say Cedric Jackson was the best young player in preseason, but yet you put him on the practice squad. You don't put him on the field, or at least in the 53. Like, everything this man has said in Pete Carroll, like everything he has said this season has been so ass backwards to this point. I'm struggling with it. Cedric Jackson should have been on this roster from the start, given the fact that this receiver core has just been struggling. And again, I missed the first couple minutes of what you were saying, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. I mean, you echoed a lot of what I said. I said a few, Jack Best led us in targets, but like 2 or 3 of those at least were in garbage time. So, I like to see him, just the fact that he was involved. I love to see him getting involved. This is what it feels like to actually get your hands and make some catches in the NFL. You do want to see him actually, work to get himself open and not be like a soft coverage or broken coverage like a few of his catches were. But, hey, just at this point, I'll take what I can get. A young guy getting the ball in his hands, I'll take it. I will take it. because that's better than the alternative, which is, geriatric Tyler Lockett catching passes from, 35-year-old Geno Smith. Like, I'd take what we got at this point. So, he's the future. Obviously, Tyler Lockett isn't. Probably no other quarterback on his roster is either. So, that's why I don't care about the quarterbacks. But I'd rather Jack Bech be out there. Throw Shedrick out there. He's a potential guy that could be part of the future. Justin Shorter, he's a potential guy to be a part of the future. That's why I said when he was let go, was the kid that was with Tennessee that was supposed to take AJ Brown's spot. Traylon Burks. When Traylon Burks was released, I was like, why don't we make a play for this guy? There's absolutely no reason. First round pick at one point, and absolutely no reason for us not to bring this kind of guy in, because he was thought at one point to be potential number one receiver. So like I want to see some youth. This old people that we're running out here, man. Like this is for the birds. This is for the birds. It helps us. None at all. It doesn't help us in any sense of the game, whether it's winning games currently, obviously by our record, or in the future. So it's time to switch our philosophy. And I'm glad that Pete Carroll finally it's like, that's how man. This is how Pete Carroll be lying, bro. Pete Carroll is just a liar.
He's a liar,
bro.
Man.
How he came into this, we don't care. Him and Spike Tech, you a bitch too. I'm calling you out too, bro, because both y'all said this nonsense about, we don't care. Now all guys are even. We don't care where you were drafted. We don't care where you came from, how you got here. We're going to put the best guys are going to get on the field. And now you either lied about him being that good, or he was that good and you guys still didn't put him on a 53. So it's one or the other. Either you were lying then or you're lying now. Either way, you a liar.
That's true, man. Boy, George Strait, appreciate you throwing a super chat out there for the Josh Jacobs stuff, man. Appreciate you. Pharaoh in the building, appreciate you, man. Guys, make sure you guys go hit up Pharaoh, man. Pharaoh's always rocking with Severe. They got their 50-50 shows. They got their Around the Shield. Definitely tap into that.
I'm spreading misinformation, man. They said it's January 84, so I was wrong. I'm spreading misinformation.
Yeah, so I think it was the season of 83, but Super Bowl in the 84. Yeah. But make sure you guys go hit up Pharaoh and Severe. They rock out together throughout the week. And if you up late, they rock out at that time too.
Oh, man, super late.
Jesus Christ, bro. You guys are wild, but love it. Love it. Space Beast, what's going on, man? We lose every game. Brock scores a TD. That's I heard the announcer say that. It is pretty wild. Yeah, it is pretty wild.
Crazy stat. We've never won any game he scored a touchdown in. Like since he's been drafted. That's crazy.
And that just means we lose so goddamn much. That's what that means. Yes. That's crazy. Raiders Smoke, what's going on, man? Had to explain to my son why I was happy after the Raiders lost. Oh man, I feel you. Chef, big gang. You said we could have had T-Mac, Henderson, and Shador in the first 3 rounds.
That would have been a hell of a. Imagine if we walk away at the NFL draft with T-Mac, Travion Henderson, and Shador in the first 3 rounds. Imagine that.
Could you imagine?
I mean, the line's still bad, but if we didn't mess with the line, if we didn't tamper with it, let them do what they did last year. Obviously, Parham's still a weak link, but they were solid down the stretch of the season before. So, hey, if we get that production out of the line, we'd still been all right.
Yeah, I'm with you. And even again, wasn't a big fan of Shador at 6 at all. But if we would have got him in the 3rd, the thing is that then at least you have a sense of, okay, we're trying to go into a certain direction, right? There's life after Geno. At least I think some of us fans would have been able to kind of swallow the season a little bit and be like, look, if for the people that did like Shador, then at least we have a direction that we're potentially going in. Right now, we have no direction. There's no direction whatsoever with a 74-year-old coach. 73, going to be 74. It's wild. So, I like him. Best will get better with more targets. Again, I just hope they're early targets. As long as we can get him early targets, that means he's getting open, he's developing. That's all I want. These garbage time targets mean nothing to me. Yeah. So hopefully we could just see him earlier on, which shows us that he's getting the separation and he's working against a defense that's playing honest. That's the only thing I hope for. I refuse to.
Oh my god,
Back to back. Look at that. LS refused to watch all the Dusty Man pressers, and Pharaoh, they just announced that Pete has Alzheimer's. Damn. And,
man, my God, it's Space Beast too, man. He done lost Space Beast, man. Space Beast done with you, bro. Space Beast is done with you too, man. No one wants to watch Lion Pete.
And I watched it. And I'm sitting there going, like, if you watch the presser, his just demeanor, everything about him is like he's lost. He has no clue where to go with the season. I mean, again, like you guys have known, like I've played and I've coached this game for a long time, and I can tell when coaches are just defeated and they have no clue kind of where to go from here. You can just tell. And you watch that presser, you could just watch the first 30 seconds. And it's a guy that's just like, holy shit, I don't know what to do right now.
At all, man. At all. He is lost.
He truly is. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll kind of see what happens. Chico stay in the building. What's going on, man? You said Raiders need Caleb Downs. I know that's the safety, I believe, for Ohio State. We're going to start breaking down some game film here in the offseason, man. It's going to be fun. So tap in with us.
I like Caleb Downs, but safety's in the first round. Yeah, I mean, that's tough for me. It's tough,
especially with the amount of needs that we have. Right, we got to get offensive linemen. We may need another number one receiver. One thing that I know I've always said is if I address anything in the draft in the first round, the first positions that I look for are the highest paid position groups in the National Football League: quarterback, left tackle, edge rusher, corner, number one receiver. Those are guys who are going to take up the most salary cap. So if you can get those guys in the first round, I'd pull a trigger. That's why I hate taking a running back. Running backs just aren't the highest paid position anymore. And so you want to get that. You want to get that player on a rookie contract with that 5th year option. That's kind of what I look for. So, but man, draft talk might happen pretty soon. Renner Travis, what's going on, man? Jeff in the building as well. Bowers number 1. Tucker could be number 1. Could be a number 1. I don't know if he could be another. I disagree with the number 1. He does have elite speed without question, but you got to use him differently. Trey Tucker's not a number 1 in my opinion. But I just don't think we've done Trey Tucker any favors the way that we have managed this offense and personnel. Like, he shouldn't be treated as a number 1. He should be a number 3 and use him in the ways like the speed, athleticism, get him matched up in one-on-one, get him across the field, beat man coverage, run a lot of pick routes, rub routes, stuff like that, to where you utilize the speed and athleticism. But again, we just don't do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, for everybody that's wanting draft content.
Oh shit!
Still here, baby.
It just might happen. If you know, you know. Oh, god damn it!
Shine this thing up. Shine this thing up. It's waiting. This. It's not too far away. It's not too far away, people.
Jesus Christ. That's how bad we've been doing. Severe's just been waiting to just kind of within arm's reach, just bring that thing back real quick.
Every loss, I see it sitting right there in the corner. I look at it.
That's
not
funny.
yet. Not yet.
Pharaoh, if we go QB early like Mendoza, I'm like, do we go offensive guard in the second or big body outside wide receiver? We'll see. We're gonna get that draft talk going, man. It's gonna be fun. What up, DJ? What's going on, man? Okay, so let's do this. All right, guys, appreciate everybody. If you have a comment or question to what we're talking about, hit that hashtag Raiders because it just catches my eye. We got about 170 in the building. We appreciate y'all. Double tap that screen, hit that like button, hit that sub button if you want to get included in the chat. But again, hit that hashtag Raiders. It catches my eye, and I'll definitely try to bring it up on the screen. But you guys are flying, so I definitely appreciate y'all. And so let's do this. We talked about offense. Before we get into the defense, let's talk winners and losers. All right? We're going to go winners and losers just on the offensive side. So chat, hit that hashtag Raiders. Give me your losers on the offensive side. So Severe, kind of go, just think through that. I'm going to give you my losers real quick. Here's my thing. I think losers, basically, I'll go with Gino. Gino just, again, did not have a good game whatsoever. I think that's kind of self-explanatory at this point. The other loser, I think, is Genty. Unfortunately, you give him carries, you give him some opportunities, just doesn't do much with it. You try to get him in the passing game, didn't do much with him. At this point, we got to see just flashes of what a number 6 overall pick should bring to this team, and we're not even seeing the flashes at this point. And so I think Genty is a loser. Yes, offensive line didn't do too well, but you got to see some flashes. And once again, I think the O-line obviously is a loser. As a whole, I do have a winner on the offensive line, but I think outside of my winner, we'll get to that in a second, I think the rest of the offensive line, a lot of pressure on Geno Smith. They weren't doing a good job of consistently opening up running lanes. And I think one of the guys on the Charger or the Broncos defensive line that got a sack was a backup. You know what I'm saying? So we're going against backup guys, rotational pieces, and they're still getting involved and wreaking havoc in the backfield. And so, again, I think the offensive line, the majority, again, there's one winner I got, but the majority, I think, of the offensive line is just a loser. And so those are my winners. We'll talk about those are my losers. We'll talk about the winners in just a second. But Severe, man, what are some of your losers on the offensive side?
Stone Forsyth, obviously. I mean, Nick Benito beat him on like just a flat run, just like a flat. He didn't make a move. He didn't like do anything with his hands. He just ran directly past him. It was embarrassing to watch. I was like, it was unconscious. I was like, what am I watching? Dude just ran right past you. It was disgusting. Obviously on Genty, I mean, it's, like you want to see some kind of progress at this point, right? Like, even if it's like he's not going to be a world beater, it's going to be hard to be a world beater behind this line. But you want to see flashes, consistent flashes, even if it's not like just consistent great play, consistent flashes, and you're not seeing it. And you're seeing he's a guy that just cannot stay away from contact. He cannot stay away from contact, and it's not the good kind of contact. He just consistently gets hit in situations where you would prefer he not get hit, right? You prefer him, hey, make a move on this guy, get around this guy, beat this guy to the edge. But he's consistently taking unnecessary hits. And I thought early in the game he showed some little bit of energy, but as the game went on, he just disappeared. And I think part of that was the play calling, which leads me to my other loser, which is Greg Olsen, because he's a guy that's supposed to set up to be the savior. And, Pete Carroll was, I think operation is going to be much better because Greg Olsen is here and our offense is going to do this. And we're going to have a lot more understanding of the things we're going to do. But we're seeing the exact same offense. Why we're seeing, and this is part of the reason why Tyler Lockett was able to come here. And even though a lot of the guys that were here couldn't understand what we were doing, he transitioned in almost seamlessly, because we were running the same offense he ran in Seattle. So he knew it like the back of his hand. So, this obviously, Pete Carroll was a guy who's been running this offense, and he's still running this offense through his offensive coordinator or interim offensive coordinator, Greg Olsen, who was my last loser offensively. And like he kind of said, everybody on, I have a winner on the offensive line, and I have a participation trophy in the offensive line, but everybody else is a loser in the offensive line.
Jonathan Studios, you got that hashtag loser. Geno Smith, you never let young guys behind you on the depth chart get on the field. I mean, he got injured. I'm with you, but yeah, I agree with you. Loser. Bremblood, what's going on, man? Genty needs a line. Got to address that to see what we got. Yeah, we definitely got to get a better offensive line in front of him. We won't deny that. Unless Stone Forsyth is like one of the action figures.
But that every time somebody says that just further proves that we shouldn't have drafted him.
100%.
That's just reinforcing the point that we shouldn't. He was until further notice, he is a bad draft pick if we have to do other things in order for him to be effective.
Yep, exactly. And when we do improve that offensive line, and all of a sudden Genty does well, it's not because of Genty, it's because of the offensive line. That's the one thing that we just gotta always just keep in mind. Keep in mind. Pigs, Kappa, the tank commander. We got a bunch of tank commanders apparently on this team, whether it be Kappa, Forsyth, Parham. It is wild. It's wild. Daniel Kim, appreciate you. Raiders, Geno's a motherfucking loser. And it has to be has nothing to do with this game. Man. Oh man. And then you got Kevin Lurker. I'm just gonna throw that up there. Pigs again, Manungai. was running hard tonight for the Bears. Solid defense. He was a 7th round. That's the
He
thing.
killed last game too.
He
I think
did.
the Bears still lost though, but he killed last game too. Like, yeah, 7th rounder out of Rutgers, I believe.
And that is, again, I know we're going to be a broken record because the amount of people that came at us because we weren't a fan of Genty at 6, when this offensive line does better and Genty looks good, that doesn't justify the pick at 6 because you could put a 4th round, 5th round running back behind a good offensive line and still have success, right? And and get production out of the running back position. And so just keep that in mind. All right, so let's go. Winners on offense. We just talked about losers. Chat, give us your winners on offense. Do me a favor, hit that hashtag Raiders. It'll catch my eye. I'll definitely try to bring it up. I'll throw mine out there first. I got Caleb Rogers.
Yes.
Caleb Rogers is a winner just because I do think he played a pretty decent game. I got to go back and watch it. I didn't watch every single play, so I got to go back. But I give him just a winner because he played the entire game. First game that he started. And so I think no matter what, that's definitely a winner. I got Jack Besh just because, 6 catches, led the team in catches. Would love to see it more consistently throughout the entire game, but definitely got his catches. Cedric Jackson, obviously. And then look, just because it's going to start the conversation, Kenny Pickett. Just because it starts the conversation. Not saying that he played extremely well. Yes, it was a really good pass. But I have no faith that Kenny Pickett is going to move the needle and turn this thing around. But he just did good enough to start that conversation amongst Raider Nation. So I'll give him a winner. So guys, hit that hashtag Raiders. Let me know what your winners are on offense. And Severe, I'll throw it to you, man. Who's your winners?
Yeah, obviously Caleb Rogers, winner. He actually, from what I saw, he actually played pretty well. Played pretty well for guys, seeing the second action in the NFL. Makes you wonder, why this guy wasn't seeing action earlier in the year. But, that's neither here nor there at this point. Obviously, Jack Besh leading the team in targets, it's getting more involved, even though it was garbage time. Just that, at least that puts you on the coach's radar. He sees you making catches. He sees dependable hands, the guy that's going to come down with the ball and secure it. And, obviously we can rely on him to do that. And in these late game situations, maybe we start to involve him more in the game plan. Brock Bowers, another touchdown. Even though we kind of went away from him for a long stretch, like I said, he had one catch on our first, or one target on our first drive, didn't get another target until the third quarter. But obviously getting another touchdown is great. Whoever bet either the Raiders to cover or the over on the game, you guys are some winners. You guys were some winners today. And then my participation trophy goes to Alex Kappa. Was he great? No, but he was solid. And for a guy that's never played center, you didn't see any snapping any bad snaps or any snapping infractions or anything like that. I think the process has been relatively clean. And we saw earlier in the year, Meredith was kind of having some trouble snapping the ball. So and Kappa's going through that same transition as a guy that never, I think he's been 7 years since he played center or taking these snaps to center. So for him to for the most part, he wasn't a world beater, but I think he was solid. He gets a participation trophy.
It is. All right, so here we go. We got a couple. And for Chris, whatever happened to that touchdown Tommy? Whatever happened? Maybe we'll talk to Turf about that.
Man,
Turf loves his
Montana State's finest.
Turf loves him. Let's see. LS, big winner for me. Genty, 36 million guaranteed. You have to run your 40 yards.
That is some great work.
Oh man, he's sitting pretty in whatever house he's got. I think they did on the social media, the house that he actually bought. Yeah, bro, he's going home a winner without question.
Did he spend a crazy amount on his house? Wasn't that one of the things people were looking? We were looking at a crazy amount on his house. Man, hey,
I think so.
That must be nice, man. $30 million for 3.5 yards per carry. It's good work if you can find it.
Exactly. Just another DJ. Jack Besh is a winner for proving Pete Carroll wrong about starting Dante Thornton over him. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Kim, we talked about Jack Besh. Look, he led six catches. Led the team with 6 catches. So look, you got some quality work out there. Got some targets. You got to like that he's just getting involved.
I think he drew a PI too. Didn't he draw a PI against Surtain, I think, at one point?
I think that was Lockett. I
Right.
saw. I don't know how many PI calls Sertan had, but I know one was on Lockett. LS loser Deuce Gruden. I know the Raiders have bigger shirts for you to wear. You see him on the sideline, yeah,
Bro.
like he took my 9-year-old shirt. That's what he did.
Bro, Deuce Gruden is like 4'11", bro. You for sure got bigger shirts out there.
For sure.
Oh, he was? Okay, damn. He was the worst second two person. Okay.
Who was
Maybe it
that?
was somebody
What
else.
happened?
He said Kappa was credited with giving up a sack and two pressures.
He was. I know he gave up one sack.
Okay.
I know he gave up one sack. But look, there was a lot of pressure. God, Forsyth, I think he was struggling out there. But again, we'll go back and take a look at the game film.
Maybe I looked at the stats wrong. Then maybe it was Parham that had no pressures, or maybe like two pressures, something like that, no sacks.
Yeah. Let's see. Hummer picking his job out there. Unlike Chino, Rogers looked great. D-line avoided him like the plague. Try another lineman instead. I watched the O-line close. Kappa has best game today. And if he was credited or awarded for a sack and two pressures, and that was his best game, not surprising because he's had some bad games. All right, let's see. All right, Jeff, I see you defending Genty. That's fine. And look, when you get a better O-line, yeah, Genty will probably look better.
Hold up, speed and quickness, Jeff, dog. Come on, bro. Come on, Jeff.
He's trying.
Well, we ain't gonna get in here. We ain't gonna get here lying.
Trying.
If you think he's gonna be, I think he has good vision, good contact balance, a tough runner, I will give you all of that. I will give you all of that. Speed and quickness, bro. You're just lying to yourself at this point. You're just lying to yourself at this point. I have eyes. I watch football. I see him on the field. I seen him get hawked by a 34-year-old Kevin Byard who ran a 4.6 when he was coming out 10 years ago. He hawked him down. Obviously, Genty broke the tackle, but he got hawked down by a 34-year-old that ran a 4.6 when he was coming out of school. Don't tell me about this guy's speed and quickness. Come on, dog. Come on, man. You guys to do better than that.
And go back and watch our game film breakdowns when he's had opportunity to go in, be in open space and be electric. That's where you can be electric, is when you get into open space. He's not. So don't give me the electric stuff either, because nothing. He's had multiple opportunities in open space to be electric, has not shown a thing, has made wrong cuts. He isn't breaking the proper tackles. So you cannot throw the electric thing out there just based off what you've seen in college football.
Are you an insurance salesman, Jeff? You look like an insurance salesman. You was an insurance salesman, ain't you, Jeff? I think I remember you an insurance salesman. Come on, dog. You're trying to sell me. You're trying to sell me on a life policy right now, dog. Come on, Jeff.
It's good times. It's good times.
On a term life policy. Yeah, have you looked into a term life policy?
Oh man, good times. Let's see. Okay, let's do this. Let's go over to. I'm gonna take this comment down, and we are gonna rock out and just talk about the defense for a second. Right? We went through winners, losers, offense. Let's go. Let's talk about the defense for a second here. Devin White, man, 19 tackles, 10 solo. Yeah. I got to go back and look at the game film, right? Just got to see where the linebacker, where the tackles were, stuff like that. But to fly around, and I've heard some other people talk a little bit about Devin White and saying, 19 tackles. I think he had a shit ton of tackles last week as well. And they said because he has a lot of tackles doesn't mean they're meaningful tackles. And I agree, right? A lot of tackles doesn't mean they're always just meaningful, right? But if you have 19 tackles, if 8 of them are meaningful, that's still a damn. You're doing work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so 19 tackles just means you're flying around the football. You're a ball hawk. You're getting there. And so I like to see the volume, but I definitely will go back and take a look at the game film. But 19 total tackles.
The part of it is because I think they were picking on him in pass coverage, and there's a lot of passes to like short passes to end. I think RJ Harvey got a lot of passes underneath, a few other running backs too. So, but yeah, he was like you can see this. Devin White is a different kind of athlete at linebacker. You can see this guy is a different kind of athlete at linebacker. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily translate to coverage, but he's flying all over the field.
He's flying to get 19 tackles. I don't care who you are. Like you're getting there. Like it doesn't mean like they're throwing at you every single time, and all your tackles is just coming off of pass coverage. That's not necessarily the case. You're flying around. So we'll definitely break down the game film, and we'll showcase Devin White, just kind of the pros and cons, because there's a lot of pros and cons to him. But we do know that he definitely flies the football. Jeremy Chin, again, 11 total tackles, seven solo, 1 sack. Eric Stokes, 9 tackles, 9 total, 6 solo. Darian Porter getting involved as well. Paul Amal came up. I saw him put up a big hit on the sideline. Yeah. Atlanta Roberts, kind of a slower day for him. Typically, he's kind of coming downhill, but 5 total, 2 solo, and then we got the rest going down. Max Crosby, a couple good early ones behind line of scrimmage, and then he got himself a sack as well. So Tonka Hemingway got himself a little bit of sack early on. So, look, here's my thing. The only thing I will say, and Severe, I'll kind of throw it to you and chat, let me know what your thoughts are on the defense. The only thing I will say is you take away that punt return. You got the number of 17 points right there. But the thing is, you take away that punt return. Or I'm sorry, you got the 24 points. You take away the punt return, we basically give up 17 points, and our offense just could not move the ball the majority of the game. And so the defense is going to get worn down. And so, yes, you see 24 points. It really is 17. This defense, man, it's tough. It's tough to work when you basically are on the field for 30 minutes of that goddamn game. It's wild. Time of possession was completely lopsided. Crazy. It is tough. But chat, let me know. Hit that hashtag Raiders. What your initial thoughts are of the defense? But Severe, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, man. It's just tough, man. It's tough being on the field as much as they are. And I wonder if something is up with. I gotta rewatch it because I said I wasn't watching every play super attentively, but I know I did see coach's cousin out there. I saw Tommy Eichenberg out there on some defensive snaps. So I don't know if maybe something.
Did he get out there? You got some PT on defense.
He got some PT on defense, and you see we lost. So that is coincidence. I think not, but so I'm making me wonder is maybe there's something going on with the Landon. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe they're kind of just trying to phase the younger guys in there, because I saw Tommy in there, on some plays, not doing much, but he was out there. He was running around. So
he was, and we're gonna do some winners and losers on defense as well. And so Kevin Larker, you're saying Porter looked good out there. It was good seeing him get a lot of playing time. The thing is obviously Kai Blue Kelly, he went down, hurt his knee, tough break for him.
Yes.
But that obviously does mean that Darian Porter is now going to get probably full playing time unless Pete Carroll does some crazy stuff where now Darian Porter and Cameron Richardson now have to compete. And now we see some rotation. I mean, it would be wild if we saw that. I'm not putting anything past old man Pete. But it does mean that Darian Porter should get the full game without question. But it was wild to see Darian Porter. I think he started. And then I see Kai Blue Kelly get in there. And now we still see a rotation. Yeah. And, it's funny. And this is where, guys, you heard us during the preseason when all of a sudden we started hearing the commentators and all the pundits and everybody started talking about, Tyree Wilson is going to have a breakout season because he beat up on a third-string tackle. And Thomas Booker is now going to be a Pro Bowl player because an ex-Pro Bowler from the Eagles said it, and he chased down a guy and made a tackle 15 yards downfield. If you heard the announcer when Kyle Kelly got hurt, he basically said, "Hey, this kid's having an outstanding season." I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Obviously, you don't study the Raiders because this kid is not having an outstanding season. All you saw was 3 interceptions.
Exactly.
But you didn't see him get beat 15 times for touchdowns. Like, it's just like, pump the brakes.
He didn't watch the Cowboys game at all.
Oh, my God.
He didn't watch the Cowboys game at all.
These announcers, they frustrate the absolute hell out of me because the majority of people run with that analysis. But I digress. So, unfortunately, he goes down. You never want to see anybody get injured. You know what I'm saying? But the good thing was Darian Porter definitely came in and he did a pretty good job Cortland Sutton tried to get some on him. Looked like he had some really good defense. We'll break it down on Wednesday. Had good positioning. Wasn't necessarily it was a bad throw. Darren Porter was in good position to bat that ball down, in some cases. So shout out to him for sure. So, but look, defensively, it's tough. It's tough when you're on the field that long. And if we end up moving on from Pete Carroll or Pete Carroll is no longer the coach for the rest after this season, unfortunately, look, it looks like it would be time for Patrick Graham to kind of move on. I wouldn't be surprised if he moved on. Just with all the drama and everything we've kind of put him through, you could say he's not a good TC or he's a serviceable defensive coordinator, but it's like the Derek Carr conversation. I thought it was time to move on from him. Yeah. But Patrick Graham might move on if Pete Carroll's no longer, even if he does stay, Patrick Graham might want to get the hell out of this situation. So
I will.
What's your thoughts on Patrick Graham after this season? Chat, let me know as well.
Yeah, man. At this point, man, he's been attempting to move on. Obviously, I think he interviewed for the DC job. He interviewed for the head coaching job with the Jaguars. I think he interviewed for the head coaching job with the Seahawks as well, if I recall correctly. He interviewed for the DC job with the Jaguars. So
the Jaguars, yeah.
So he's been interviewing like the last few cycles. He's been interviewing. I think he's probably fed up with it. You can kind of see some of the questions they ask. He's kind of getting snappy. Like when they asked him earlier in the year about Jermaine Pratt, and he had to answer essentially like, you always want to coach good players. I would love to have coached them, but hey, it's out of my control essentially. Then I think they asked him after last game about Max Crosby rushing from middle linebacker and why they did it or what was the thought behind it, and he gave kind of a snarky answer there. So you can kind of tell it's not him wanting to do this kind of stuff. I think there's other people in implementing some of these things to the game plan, because usually he's a guy that's like really detailed in his answer, and he'll tell you why and the reasons behind it. Like when they asked him early in Tyree's career why he put Tyree on the interior, he's like, hey, because things happen faster in there, and he did it in the past. He did it with Chandler, and to help Chandler's hand usage gets better, because when you're in the interior, your hands have to be better because, guys, everything happens quick on the interior. So your hands got to be fast. So that's why he did it with Tyree, to kind of speed his hands up. So usually he's good at giving those kind of answers, but you can see it's kind of wearing on him. I think Pete Carroll is wearing on. I think Pete Carroll's wearing on everybody. I think Pete Carroll obviously wore on Chip.
Right.
On Patrick Graham. I think the relationship between him and Spytek is frayed. So Pete Carroll is at the epicenter of all of this. And I think at this point, Patrick Graham's been through 4 head coaches. He's been here 4 years. He's been through 4 head coaches.
Bro, we put him to the ringer.
He's probably cool. He's probably cool. And what's crazy is that I was watching something from a Broncos guy, a guy that covered the Broncos, and he's like a defensive guy. He's like, yo, man, he's like, I don't know what you guys are doing to Patrick Graham's defense. He's like, Patrick Graham is one of the most underrated DCs in the league, and whatever is going on this year is not him. Like, he's one of the guys, you could tell he likes to mix coverages up. He likes to mix in blitzes. He likes to have mix up fronts, and whatever's happening this year, it's unrecognizable from anything I've seen from Patrick Graham in the past. So that kind of told me everything I need to know right there. So I doubt if he comes back.
I'm with you. And here's the hard part is when you have multiple head coaching changes, and the one thing that I think some people don't take into consideration, when you have multiple head coaching changes, Patrick Graham likes a certain type of defense, right? Like, he will hang his hat on a certain type of defense. But whenever you get a new head coach, the head coach will have some sort of influence on it. Like, they're going to want to tweak it just a little bit because they're the head coach. They're going to want to see certain things, or they might have their opinion as to, yeah, this is the defense you want to run, but this player might work out a little bit better. Like, they're going to have their stamp on it a little bit. It might be like a 70-30 thing where it's going to be 70% of what Patrick Graham wants to run, whether it be formations or what have you. But the head coach is going to have some input on personnel, or if he wants to be a little more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And this is what Patrick Graham has had to go through. Look at what Pete Carroll's doing to him today in this season, is that Pete Carroll wants to put his cover 3 stamp on it. And Pete Carroll wants to bring in guys that fit his mindset, his defense. And this is what Patrick Graham has had to deal with every single coaching change. Sometimes it's more, sometimes the head coach is going to want to be a little more influential as others. but I think this is probably the worst it's ever been for Patrick Graham, of having a head coach wanting to come in and put his stamp on the defense. And this is what he's going through. And so I feel bad for him. I mean, you look at what Patrick Graham did over at New York when he was with the Giants. He ran more of a 3-4 type of defense. He didn't have a bunch of big names, but he was able to produce a pretty good defense over there. And I think he's just seen too much turnover over here to have just any type of consistency within his defense and the personnel that he wants. Because every time there's a coaching change, you get a run over of personnel. Look at the Christian Wilkins situation. Look at, just all of a sudden you move guys on, and Jeremy Chin is now, coming in, and Eric Stokes is coming in. It's just, I think he's had to deal with so much that a change of scenery for him might be a good thing.
Yeah. I think it's best for everybody at this point.
I think so. Pigs. Could argue the Broncos coaching is a big factor.
Yeah.
Coaching plays a big factor. Yeah. Always.
I mean, remember, they picked in front of us last year, or, when we picked Brock Bowers, they picked in front of us. So, like, not like they have some, like, all of a sudden they just hit some, like, jackpot and have all this wealth of talent. They just, they drafted better, and they're the people they drafted better were put in better positions by their coaches.
Yeah. And you look at the Broncos game plan. That offensive game plan was perfect for a cover 3 look.
Yep.
They didn't press it downfield because you got a safety dropping with 2 corners. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to pick apart the underneath coverage, especially if you see blitzing, stuff like that. You can zone blitz out of a cover 3, and if you're late to getting to your drop, you can pick it apart if you have a good quarterback with good timing and a good offense coordinator that can recognize it. So.
Yep. That's how you can. Boy, I think he threw 38 passes, still only passed for like 212 yards. Like, you throw the ball 38 times and you pass anything less than 250, like, it was just, you're keeping everything underneath. You're keeping everything.
100%. And so, we'll see. DJ saying that they have not invested properly in the defense since Patrick Graham has been there. You can't invest when you have – and I agree. But you can't invest when you literally have just turnover with head coach.
Yeah.
There's no investment. LS, why ask PG to come back?
That's going to be tough because you think about some of the guys that are like Pete Carroll archetype players, right? Like Tonka Hemingway. He's like the classic Pete Carroll defensive lineman where he's kind of a tweener, not quite a D tackle, not quite a D end. But he's right in that, he's a tall guy, right in that like 285 to 305 range. Like, those are the kind of guys he likes. And he's a guy that another DC might look at and say, he's a tweener. I don't like this kind of guy. Darian Porter, he's the Pete Carroll type corner. Eric Stokes is kind of a Pete Carroll type corner. So if we, make changes to this defense, like we saw what happened, just happened last year, right? We got rid of Jacorian. Obviously, he's injured, but he's not really a cover 3 corner. He was our best man corner. But, we're going to play cover 3 99.9% of the time. So why do we need him here? We let Caleb Chase not go out the door. He's playing well with the Patriots. We let Devon Diablo go. He's playing well with the Falcons, right? So, like, we have a new regime come in, it could be like, it could spell disaster for this draft class. It could spell disaster for this draft class.
And the problem is that it also hurts when you're trying to develop players. And when you're trying to be consistent and you're trying to build chemistry and you're trying to build a system, it doesn't just take one season. And so if you continuously have this just revolving door of players on defense, you can never drill in a system. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to lose Robert Spillane. Yeah. Because the thing is Robert Spillane knew Patrick Graham's system. Now, obviously, we switched it up. But talking about in the preseason, he's a green dot guy. He understood Patrick Graham and what he wanted to do. They communicated well. He was a leader on the defense. And so you keep a guy like that just to keep some consistency for Patrick Graham that he can trust in the communication process on the field, and we let him go. And it's like that continuous like rollout of different players, man, it's hard. It really is hard. You need a lot of communication on defense, but it's just as important. On the offense, and it's just as important on the defensive side as well. Raiders, 75-28. Carr kept winning us those meaningless games every season, getting us nowhere. I freaking love Geno. We're going to talk about the draft position in just a second. Let's see. Disagree. We wasted pick 7 on Tyree Wilkins. Was given a huge contract. We drafted Morig early. We did. I liked Morig.
Miracle was before Patrick Graham. That was Gruden.
He was.
That was a Leatherwood draft. But yeah, I mean, we did draft Tyree early. But if we're talking about we didn't invest on defense. You can't bring up Tyree Wilson, right? That's not necessarily. Well, I guess that's a bad investment. You talk about a bad investment. Like you invest in a blockbuster franchise. Technically, you're investing, I guess. But it's not really great. So I don't think we've done enough defensively, to really give him high end players outside of Wilkins. Wilkins, I do agree there, but I don't think we've done enough to give him enough high end players, which is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. And so we're going to go winners, losers on defense. Winners, losers on defense. Guys, chat, let me know. Hit that hashtag Raiders. Give me your losers first. We're going to go losers first on defense. And I'll start out. Ellis. My point is the intent there, awful outcome. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, awful outcome, unfortunately. And it sucked, though, because Merrick, we moved on from Merrick. Merrick was a great box safety for Patrick Graham last year. Yeah. And we moved out. Obviously, they overpaid for him. I get it. But it's like you move on from Merrick, and it's just you just can't switch up personnel like that on any coordinator. It's tough. Losers. I think Jamal Adams probably had one of his worst games. Not saying it was awful, but obviously had the missed tackle early on that sprung for a first down. He had that face mask that was rough. Obviously, they were running all over us, so it was tough. It was hard to see whether or not he was having an impact in the run game, which is typically where he helps. And so I think Jamal Adams just had a rough game. That's tough. I'm telling you, one loser that keeps popping up for me is Thomas Booker. Yeah. There was a couple plays where literally I want to say it was on the fullback on the third and short, and the fullback ripped off like a 22-yarder.
Yeah,
Thomas Booker got removed from his area.
Yeah.
Just straight removed, and we've been seeing it quite a bit all season where he's just not quick enough. His reaction times to what's happening in front of him is just rough, and so. And then, look, I want to see, even though Max got his sack, I definitely wanted to see Max just have a bigger influence on this game. I want to see him, even though he did, he made some plays in the backfield, stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of talk at the end of this season. If we have that number 2 or number 1 overall pick, there's going to be a lot of talk. How do we establish more draft capital? How do we get the top candidate possible in the building? And do you try to get more top-end draft capital? And the only person that I think would be available on the market to even talk to other teams about is Max. And Max he's got to prove that he can be a game changer for us. And unfortunately, we're just not seeing it. We haven't seen it on a consistent enough basis. And his contract is going to be so attractive that every goddamn team in the league outside of the Cleveland Browns will at least pick up the phone call and inquire. Yeah. So it started
the Browns and the Giants. Depending on what they
do. The Giants.
Started Browns and the Giants, yeah.
So it's just, Max, it's not that he had an awful game, but the thing is we have to be able to be open-minded to change this horrible organization around. And, in my opinion, that might include Max. But those are my losers, basically. Not too many. I think the defense didn't play horribly. Yes, they methodically allowed the offense move down the field. But the thing is I think that's more about the Pete Carroll and the defensive strategy that he's implementing. And the offense just could not sustain any drives 90% of the game. And so the defense just got worn down. And so those are kind of my losers. Chat, let me know. Hit that hashtag Raiders. What losers you got, Ellis? I think you got a couple. Max. There's sort of games. Those sort of games show you that he needs to be traded. We'll talk about that at the very end. Let's see. Okay, Severe. Any thoughts on your losers from this game?
Yeah, obviously Jamal Adams. A couple really rough plays. And and I don't think he played like bad overall. But anytime you make like very loud mistakes like that, especially one that was on like it was been a 3rd and long and it turns into an automatic first down. From a veteran guy, that's rough. Kyle Bukele, obviously, you hate to see a guy get hurt. We don't know how long. I don't know if it's been reported how long he'll be down for, but obviously, sustaining that injury, he looked like he was in quite a bit of pain as well. So, so wishing him a speedy recovery. Hope all is well. Nothing long term, but that's tough. My dog, man, I hate to do it to him because I really support this guy. I really want to see this guy do well, but Malcolm Koonce, man. Malcolm Koonce is just when's the last time you said Malcolm Koonce's name? Like he checked the stat sheet. Did he have any counting stats at all? Did he make a tackle? Did he get an assist? Did he get a pressure or a QB hit or anything like that? Like I don't know.
One total tackle, which looks like an assist.
Let's go. It's like
hold on. 1 second. All right, Coach. Tommy Eichenberg. 1 tackle, 1 solo. I'll find it. I'll find it just for you, man. I'll find it just for you.
I know what it was. Know what it was? I think I know what it was. He pushed the guy out of bounds.
Oh, man, that's solid work. That's solid work, Coach.
I like it. After a catch, I believe, too, if I recall correctly. After a catch, push the guy out of bounds. Hey, the sideline is your extra defender, baby. Use 100%. That field. A high IQ play.
We'll know if Coach is still in here.
I would say Max. I say Max for a different reason, man. Like, Max, he gets up like every time they show a replay. Max is like getting up, throwing his arms up, saying he's getting like, "Are you getting held?" Yes, you're getting held. The best players in the league get held. How often do you think they're holding Miles? They're holding Miles Garrett on every single play. I don't want to see, and this is the double standard people have, because people will call LeBron a crybaby for asking for fouls, and LeBron is fouled on damn near every play, but they'll call him a crybaby for asking for fouls, but they won't criticize Max for holding up his hands every time he gets held. Bro, you're gonna get held. It's part of the game. Like, get used to it. Let the refs know. Put the refs to the side. Like, yo, man, you need to watch 77. He's holding me. Let him know. But throwing your hands up, whining after every single play, bro. I don't want to see that, bro. Just play through it. Move on to the next play.
Yeah, I'm with you. And here's the thing. Justin DJ, you're saying whoever was in charge of the defense game plan and didn't adjust to the Broncos' dink and dunk offense. And that's, man, I'm going to look more at the game film. From obviously when you're watching on TV, you can't see just how the defense fully drops their coverage and stuff. So I don't know how much cover 3, but statistically, we've played more cover 3 than anybody in the league. So I assume that we're not going to get out of it all of a sudden. And because they were able to basically dink and dunk, a lot of short passes, a lot of dump off passes, that is susceptible in cover 3. And so I assume that they were in cover 3 a lot. So, and when you say whoever it was in charge, it's a Pete Carroll thing. So, Chef, I know Koonce is coming back from the injury, but 13 games in, you would think he would be revving up by now, but he's just non-existent. Yeah, it takes time. I know people have said that it takes at least a year to fully come back, and you don't even get to 100%. You get to like 80% after a full season. And I agree. Like, I wish I would have seen more flashes at this point. Now he's got time. What do we got? 4 games left? 4?
4 games left, yeah. Eagles, Texans, Giants, Chiefs. Yeah, 4.
4 games left. Look, he's got 3 sacks in the season. If he ends up with 6 sacks, if he gets 3 sacks in the last 5 games or 4 games, look, that could help him.
Yeah. Nah, that's gonna be winners. But yeah, that reminded me.
Okay. So that could help him, but at the same time, hard part is you just he's on a 1-year contract. And at this point, man, if you bring him back.
Especially we change regimes too, man. Like that's my dog. I mean, like, everybody know before he got hurt, I was a big advocate, pay him early. I thought he was about to turn into what's my guy that was with the Eagles, drafted by the Cardinals out of Temple. Forget his name. Damn. Pass rusher. He was with the Jets. I think never reported or something like that. Uh,
I don't remember.
um, dang, Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick. I thought he was
Okay,
about to
yeah,
get.
yeah.
I thought he was about to turn into Hassan Reddick. Obviously, that injury kind of derailed everything. He's still recovering from it, but it's rough, man. It's rough right now, especially on a 1 year deal, man. It's tough to see because you're probably gonna have to take another prove it deal and then prove it again and then prove it again before you actually get paid, man. So it's rough.
And just the DJ, he did ask. Is that what you were answering before
No,
on this one?
yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. I don't know. Did he do it? He said he complained
I
about
think he
talked about
did. I
Greg
think I
Bosa.
remember him because Bosa. It was like he was on the sideline. I think he like threw his helmet or something. And he was ripping, or it was like towards like the tail end of a game or at the end of the game. He was ripping away at the refs like for holding calls. And I think Max did call out Bosa
Yeah,
for complaining. He's like, it's just going to happen, stuff like that. So,
yeah.
all right, let's see. Let's go to winners, guys. Hit that hashtag Raiders if you can. Do me a favor. Let me know who your winners are on defense and severe, man. I think you had one in mind at least. So, what are your winners, and then I'll go for it.
Yeah, man, the big yellow truck, man. Tonka Hemingway. Tonka Hemingway, first career sack, man.
Yep.
You love to see it. Happy for the guy. Obviously, young guy, a guy that I hope we continue to develop. I don't know. I would love to see his running mate out there. I'd love to see JJ Pegues and him out there at the same time. But hey, it is what it is. Obviously, Darian Porter is a guy. He got in the game. I think he played well in the snaps that he was given. So happy to see that, man. Devin White putting up 19 tackles. I don't really care. The context, you can remove the context at that point. You get 19 tackles, bro. That's a hell of a day. So shout out to him. And that's about it, man. The defense played well overall. It wasn't horrible, right? It wasn't horrible. They didn't give up anything crazy big, outside of I think the RJ Harvey run, in the fullback. Oh, the fullback! Oh my god,
The fullback.
But it's just a bland. It's like it's vanilla defense, man. It's just real super vanilla. And when you play that way and you really don't make any adjustments, like what, I don't know if you guys watch The Simpsons, but it's like when Ned Flanders was talking about when Ned Flanders was a young kid and he was being real bad, and his parents was like, "We tried nothing and we're all out of ideas." Like, bro, that's the Raiders. Like, you've tried nothing, like nothing different. Like, what are you gonna do? Oh, we're gonna throw this cover 3 at them and see how that helps. Like, oh, but they're gonna run this. Oh, everyone's gonna run this cover 3. They're gonna play fast, and everybody's gonna be comfortable. We're gonna play faster. Like, bro, that's not the answer anymore. Like, you got to make some adjustments in this NFL.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you go back without question. You go watch Pete Carroll's presser. It's brutal. It's brutal. It's literally a man that his demeanor is like he has no clue what he's doing at this point, which is tough. Chef saying bring back Kuntz on a prove it deal. We need to get all we can this D line. Obviously, he was on a prove it deal this year. The hard part is that you want to also kind of develop, right? And you want to be able to build to the draft and stuff like that. And that's why when we did our mock drafts, I would always try to target an edge rusher starting about the 4th round because you just didn't know how Malcolm Kuntz was going to develop. That's why I wanted us to bring back Caleb Von Chase on. But to be real, I think Caleb Von Chase on, and Severe, you said, we should have brought him back, and maybe we made the wrong decision. Maybe we made the wrong decision because I think Caleb Von Chase went to the Patriots because he knew he would start with the Patriots. I think if he would have stayed here, he knew he was a rotational piece, which means he was like, no, I need to go somewhere where I want to start. And so maybe we made the wrong decision. You know what I'm saying? And so I think we kind of gave him his prove it year. Like if we bring him Malcolm Kuntz back, it better be at such a God. He better be getting paid $4 million to come back, and know that he's a replacement.
Chase might take a $3 million deal. He might
was that his deal?
I think he took like 3 or 3.5.
And so and if that's the deal he took, then that means that he solely wanted to start. That was it. You know what I'm saying? And so look, made the wrong choice. Unfortunately, we'll see kind of how it plays out. Jason, Carroll's scheme is outdated. Yes, it is, without question. Without question.
As our shoes.
Yeah, exactly. So let's do this. My winners. Got him in front of me. So number one, Darren Porter. Darren Porter, he definitely was a winner. I think he did a really good job for the time that he got, without question. Charles Snowden. I think Charles Snowden is just kind of proving that he's earning just more playing time. I want to see Charles Snowden more than Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson doesn't belong on the football field anymore. It didn't work out.
No.
He's done, right? I mean,
it's a wrap.
If Charles Snowden isn't starting, then Charles Snowden should be the rotational piece, not Tyree Wilson. So I want to see Charles Snowden play the rest of the season because I think he was an undrafted free agent. Last year we brought him back on. And so I want to see, is he worth bringing back one more time as a prove-it deal, given the fact that we need some rotational pieces. So I want to see Charles Snowden get as much playing time moving forward so we can really get a good analysis of him going into the offseason. Samir, I agree with all your points with Devin White. And then I agree, Tonka Hemingway. He got his first sack, but here's my thing. I didn't see much of him after that. He got a sack, and then and it was early in the game, and I purposefully, at least 5 or 6 times, was like, "Is Tonka out there? Like, where is he?" And I just didn't see him. He got the sack, and I want to see just how many snaps. I don't know if it shows how many actual snaps on this. It doesn't.
It's Sports Reference shows it. I don't know if it'll be up yet though. It's a lot of times it's the next day. But yeah, Sports Reference shows you how many snaps.
So like, I didn't see him too much after that at all, and there was probably 5 or 6 times that I actually tried to look for him, and I just didn't see him. So the question is, he gets a sack. We've seen him show flashes in the preseason, earlier in the season. He's been inactive quite a bit. Why the hell are we not seeing more of this kid if you got a sack early in the game and we're getting no production out of Thomas Booker? I mean, get the kid involved at this point.
Exactly.
And so, I don't know. I'm going to definitely take a look at the game film, and I'm going to pay attention to see how many snaps Tonka Hemingway got. But I definitely think he's a winner. And I definitely want to see more out of him moving forward at this point. So
is Jeff in here? Because it's looking like Jeff gonna owe you a beer, man.
No, it's Jack Kenna.
Jack Kenna. Okay, yeah, Jack gonna owe you a beer. Or is it just a beer? Is it a beer? Is it a pitcher?
It's 2 pitchers. JJ Pegues though. JJ Pegues to get one.
That's what I mean.
He just had to get one carry.
I think he was inactive. I think.
Yeah, he just needed one carry.
It ain't happening, man. We can't even get a second running back any carries. I did the Mostert had like one carry, right? I think Mostert had one carry in the game.
Mostert had one carry.
Yeah, like we can't even get another running back a carry, bro. JJ ain't never touching the ball. Never touching the ball.
That's what I said. Oh god damn LS. Who's a bigger liar, Peter or Hondo? It might be a tie.
Oh my god.
It might be a tie. Which is bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, pigs. I'm telling you. So what stemmed that whole bet was because a lot of the amount of people, because I said early on, it was when we basically drafted Genty, or it was a little bit before too, is that if we got Genty, I thought we needed a short yardage back as well. So if we got Genty early, we needed a short yardage back, a guy like a couple guys I liked, Ollie Gordon, I liked Manungai, the guy from the Bears.
Yeah, yes.
There's a couple others, but if we drafted Genty, I thought that he was going to struggle in short yardage. Everybody's like, "What are you talking about? He runs over everybody." I'm like, Mountain West. Yeah. But everybody kept saying, "Oh, but JJ Pegues, look at him in college." I was like, "Okay, that's college. You're not going to expect what's going on in college with with just an offensive coordinator that just does different things, right?
Yeah, Lane.
To translate over here. And so I was happily going to take that bet with anybody. JJ Pegues getting a carry in the NFL. Like, it just doesn't happen. And so, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I feel confident in that bet. So Bakersfield, when I see Jack next time, yeah, 2 pitchers. It'll be fun. What up, Rundown? What's happening?
You about to win 2 bets because it looks like I'm looking at this score. You took the under. Yeah, you took the under. Yeah, it's a wrap, 20-30. The Texans, dang, Patrick Mahomes threw 3 interceptions. My God.
He threw 3 interceptions?
3 interceptions. I wonder how much they hit him, man, because they got Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. I remember there's people that are telling me, people
It's gonna be a
legitimately
long day.
telling me that Tyree Wilson was better than Will Anderson. It was
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
Legit people telling me Tyree Wilson was better than Will Anderson.
Oh, man. I wish I was doing this YouTube thing around Tyree Wilson when we draft Tyree Wilson.
Oh my god!
Because I never would have got subscribers. I talked so much shit about Tyree.
Oh my god! I cooked Tyree on Pharaoh and Raider Ray had a show. I cooked Tyree on there. I cooked him pre-draft. My very first YouTube video I uploaded on YouTube was my breakdown of Tyree Wilson. So I told people back then he had no get off and no pass rush moves and poor hands, and look what happened.
I'm telling you. You guys go, hey, I know Rundown starting I think he's calling it, God, is it College U or something like that? My bad if I'm butchering it.
I think it's Rundown U, I think.
Rundown U. Yeah. He's doing some more college breakdown, man. Make sure you check out his, obviously his Raider stuff, but at the same time, he's doing some college stuff as well.
That would be disastrous. This would be disastrous for 805.
Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Jack wouldn't have to. I would go get 2 pitchers and put them down instantly. I'd be so mad.
Disastrous for our draft position for 805. 805 would curse.
So
but this is back. But I can see why Jack took the bet because Chip Kelly is doing. But we should have known, bro. We should have known a 74-year-old coach is not going to let any. They're not going to let a guy do that. It's not going to happen, man. So yeah,
I know. No, I'm with you. Yeah, people were happy about it. That's fine. But I was more than willing to take that bet. Yeah, guys, make sure you go check out Rundown, man. He's doing some college breakdown stuff, and we're gonna do some college film as well. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun.
Try to tell y'all, bro. Yeah. Try to tell y'all, bro. Hey, tried to tell you. And my other guy, he having a rough go of it though. Jaden having a rough go. My cousin Jaden having a rough go of it. But hey, CJ, he rounded back into form. He had that sophomore slump. That's what Jaden going through now. Sophomore slump. Jaden be back though.
And look, I like CJ Stroud coming out of college too. The thing is that, man, that offensive line was so atrocious. It's tough. Atrocious. So now we'll see. But LS basically, we threw Al's Kappa a pass, but JJ Pegues can't get a single carry. Don't put that out there. JJ Pegues.
Oh my God, that is true. That is true. That's probably the moment Pete Carroll took away play call for Jimmy. Left them with the end of this.
It's funny. It's good times, people. It is good times. And so, look, we're going to roll into this next topic. And I don't know if I have. No, we're going to do that one. We're going to talk about Pete. We're going to do this one. We did winners and losers. We got the second overall pick right now. As it stands right now, we have the second overall pick. Man, like, there's so many reasons why this organization needs the top pick in the draft. And the thing is that, and shout out to Rundown, you're saying, wait, so how are y'all about Fernando? Never asked y'all. So here's the thing. We had the event yesterday, so I couldn't watch all of that Ohio State game and Indiana game. So I have a record. I'm going to watch it. And it's hard to kind of showcase. Like, I know they didn't score a whole lot of points. There wasn't a lot of moving the ball, but Ohio State is damn good defense. And so it's really hard to figure out exactly how to judge that game, but I'm going to watch it. I got to watch more Fernando. I can't put the time in right now to do it. So, Severe, any thoughts on Fernando? Obviously, he's the top guy on a lot of people's lists.
I like Fernando. I don't love Fernando. I think he's he's super safe. Super safe. He's Jared Goff with more mobility. Like, a good arm, not a great arm. Accurate. I think he's super intelligent, highly intelligent. I think he's a worker. He's a guy that's going to work. He went to Berkeley, so if you ever hear him talk, he's a nerd, super nerd, but his recall is really good because of how smart he is. But I have concerns about him and his command. Not necessarily command of offense, but is he going to be able to not only command respect, but demand respect? And there's a difference, right? There is a difference between those two. Sometimes sometimes some people can command respect, and there's situations where you have to demand respect. And I don't know if you could do either. Maybe just through his sheer work ethic, and you could tell he's a guy that puts in the time and puts in the work. Maybe that alone will command respect for some people because they will respect, your preparation and what you do to get yourself ready to play on Sundays. But just, there's a certain level of charisma I think you need for the quarterback position. And even like other traditional like nerd guys, you think like people always talk about Andrew Luck. You hear Andrew Luck at Stanford. He was a nerd, but you can still tell he had presence. There was a presence there to him, and I don't get that sense with Mendoza. But that's like nitpicky stuff. Like on the field, I think he's a good player. I think he's safe. If it's between Mendoza and Moore, I'm still taking Moore. I think just talent wise, strong with anticipation. I think arm strength, mobility is about even. I just think Moore is a better prospect. I think in 3 years he'll be the better player. But he does have a lower floor than Mendoza, mainly because he doesn't have a lot of time on task. He's that there's like this the stat where if it's less than 20 starts, that's where you kind of get concerned about a quarterback translating to the next level. I don't think Moore is going to get that, but Moore he is so cerebral, so poised, so cool, calm under pressure for a guy that's not even going to be 21 until after he's drafted. He came up. I think he won state as a freshman in high school playing in Michigan. He went to UCLA, took his lumps there, transferred to Oregon, and even though Oregon brought in Dylan Gabriel to start ahead of him, he still stayed there, learned, was willing to sit and learn in a situation where he knew he wouldn't start, and then he came in, and he's been balling this year. So obviously Oregon's in the is in the college football playoff. So I think just ceiling Moore is a higher ceiling, but if you want to go with a safe pick, then I think Mendoza is a very safe pick.
And I got a little comment on that. LS, can you imagine if Pete takes Jeremiah Love or Cardinal Tate with a top 3 pick? I can't imagine it because I can't imagine Pete with us. Okay, I'm gonna put it that way. I don't want to imagine Pete as the head coach of this football team, so I'm gonna put it out that way.
Not rundown. I've watched several interviews, bro. He's like that all the time. It's straight chat GPT, artificial intelligence. Even when he was crying after the game, first of all, I didn't see a single teardrop. It was concerning. Bro, you putting on for the camera? Are you putting on for the camera? Because he was like, oh, my God, that's my teammates. So what I did was, what this game was in the line. It's like, come on, dog. Are
from like right now? Emotion to emotion, like 180 quick.
Bro, I said, bro.
I saw that.
His emotion chip needs to be upgraded. His emotion software is not up to date. They need to hit refresh on the screen because it wasn't right there. He started crying and all of a sudden he's going right into the. I was like, bro, yeah. So he's like that all the time, bro. He's like that all the time. But like that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? My main thing I worry about is just locker room dynamics there because obviously on the field he can get it done. And if you're playing well on the field. Nobody gives a damn. It's not going to be any locker room issues because if you're playing well on the field and you're doing your thing, you don't run into those locker room issues. But it's when you hit adversity, that's when that other stuff is tested. And will he be able to deal with that? Because he has Cignetti, and Cignetti is an older college coach who's been with some of the best programs in the nation. 64 years old. Like you see how Cignetti is. He's a no nonsense kind of guy, and that is perfect for Mendoza. That's perfect for Mendoza because Cignetti's not going to tolerate any BS. Like Mendoza would have been perfect for a Nick Saban as well. And that's where, and obviously, Cignetti coached. I think he was a OC or a wide receivers coach under Nick Saban at one point as well. So you can see he's that kind of guy where if you have a very strong presence at head coach, you have a really good culture in your locker room. That's the guy for you. Unfortunately, the Raiders have neither of those. So, it's going to take some heavy lifting for us to create an environment in order for him to be successful.
So the only thing I have on Mendoza, because again, I haven't watched him play a whole lot, not enough for me to have a true assessment of him. But I will say that was the first time I seen him actually talk and speak was after the game yesterday. And the instant vibe I got, and look, I lean more towards on the play of the field. Obviously, you want to look at personality without question, right? Because there could be there could be things in a personality that could be red flags. But I lean obviously more play on the field. But when I saw that interview yesterday after the game, after they won, I got Kirk Cousins vibes.
Man, he looks just like him too. Looks just like him. That's Kirk Primos. He's the Hispanic Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I'm like, that was I instantly got Kirk Cousins vibes, and not to say that Kirk Cousins isn't like a leader, but the thing is severe to your point, right? It's like, how do you command a locker room? You know what I'm saying? How can you be the leader that 52 other guys are going to fall behind you? And can you command the locker room? And again, I'm not saying that this is a knock. I'm not saying that this is like a deciding factor. No, but it's just something I'm going to keep in the back of my mind as I watch game film, as I kind of break this thing down and stuff like that, and watch them. God, the first thing I thought was Kirk Cousins vibes, and I was like, I don't know if I want Kirk Cousins. I don't know if I want that personality in the locker room. And so, yeah. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying like that was just rough. So, but I'll definitely take a look at research, do my research. But Severe, I also do agree, right? Like the Mendoza, without question, it's the safe pick because at the end of the day, you now have a direction as an organization. If you have the right coach, if you have the right foundation to start that process, you without question now have a direction, and you can basically start pointing this organization in a certain direction. So I agree, it's probably a safe pick. But we're gonna dive more into it without question. But at the end of the day, I think that this means it is more important for us. As much as number 2 is great, I want us to have that number 1 overall pick. I want us to have that number 1 overall pick because let me. If we pick a quarterback, we have to have the right head coach here. Pete Carroll's not it. Pete Carroll is not going to develop a quarterback moving forward. And even if Pete Carroll is here and he picks a quarterback, if the next coach doesn't like him, we just wasted a first-round draft pick. So I want a new head coach. I want an offensive-minded head coach. But if any of us fans are in that boat that we want the best offensive-minded head coach, we need to have the most attractive situation possible. We need to have that number 1 overall pick. And we also, I think that's when you open up the trade talks of Max.
Yeah.
Because it's not just making this attractive, it's also knowing what you're going up against. The Giants have Jackson Dart, so a coach can go over there. You already have your franchise quarterback, if you like him, and a first-round draft pick to build around them. If you like the Titans, if you like Cam Ward, they already have their franchise quarterback, and now you have draft capital to build around. Now you have to come over here and waste a first-rounder on getting your guy. And so if you can get your guy, but we trade Max, and now you have an additional first this year, maybe a third rounder, and then another first rounder next year. So you go into next year with 2 first rounders. I think that's where this could be a very attractive situation for a top head coaching candidate. And so if you have that number 1 overall pick, now you could stay there. You could trade back a couple spots if you're ballsy enough to do it, accumulate more draft capital. I mean, that's, I think, where if you could be that number 1, you control your destiny in the draft. The problem is if you're at number 2, now you got guys like the Jets or somebody else that might be like, oh, no, we're going to jump up and take that. And now you got to fight for it. And if you got to fight for it, does a head coach want to get in that type of battle, knowing now I got to give up draft capital to go get to the number 1 just in case the Jets get there and I can't get my guy? Like, I just don't want to be in that battle. I want to be securely sitting in that number 1. We're in the driver's seat, and we can mess around any way we want. And that's why JJ Pegues better not get a carry against the Giants and screw this over. So that's just my take. So
The game winner.
I know. Jesus Christ. So
JJ,
yeah, man.
He might finish the year averaging more yards per carry than Ashton off one carry.
Don't start that.
Don't start that. 5 yards.
Don't start that. They did love Kirk Cousins in Washington. They did. I mean, look, I think Kirk Cousins actually could be a little more commanding of what I saw of Mendoza, and that's just of that one interview. So I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to like judge it too much, but I almost feel like Kirk Cousins can be even more demanding than Mendoza, because Mendoza, man, he just didn't get a good vibe. But that's all just speculation. But Severe, man, we got the number 2 pick. What's your thoughts? Do we got to keep driving? Are you cool with 2? Do you want to get to 1? Like, obviously, I think we want the highest draft pick possible. But what's your feeling on the number 2? And I'm gonna pick up our schedule because we're gonna take a quick look at it before we get out of here, and we're just gonna see, do we have a chance at winning another game? So, what's your thoughts?
I'm cool at the 2, man. I'm cool at the 2. Like I said before, man, I think a lot of people want. Obviously, if you have the number 1 overall pick, you're kind of in the driver's seat. But how does Spytek handle that pressure? He could barely handle the pressure at 6, and he panicked and took Jackson.
It's a whole other topic, but yeah, I'm with you.
So how do you handle the constant? Because you're going to be the focus of the conversation the entire offseason. What do the Raiders, bro? His draft day speech is going to be unbearable.
God, could you
unbearable when he gets drafted? Oh my God, I like that. But anyway, when I get into offense, I want to get the guys that are gonna protect my mom. Oh my God! But yeah, man, but like I said, but if we have the number 1 overall pick, we're gonna be the focus. Every draft show, every analyst, they're all going to be talking about what are we going to do with the number 1 overall pick. Do we go best player available? Do we go quarterback? Especially if we fire Pete Carroll and then we have a new regime in here, then they're going to get extra scrutiny as well, just be under that microscope. And like I said, I don't, and then a lot of times, man, these are number 1 overall picks. It's been that second guy that's been the better guy. So, you look at Mitch Trubisky, second guy, obviously it wasn't a number and the second pick, but the second quarterback in that draft was Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels. This tightened up a little bit, but I think obviously Jaden Daniels still has to lead. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, that's tightened up a little bit as well. I will still put CJ Stroud in the lead. These guys went to the playoff twice, won 2 playoff games, set several records as a rookie. So that second guy has been the guy in a lot of these draft classes. So do you really want that top overall pick, that extra scrutiny? A lot of times you have the number 2 overall pick, you can kind of sit back and you're still in position to get a guy. But if it's close between 2 guys, you can let the other team make a decision, and that takes a little bit of pressure off you.
Yeah, no, I still want to be in that driver's seat though.
Yeah,
we'll see how it works out. You know what I'm saying? Hummer, I don't see trading Max for a first rounder. The idea of a first rounder is hope to find to find a max. You're saying find a max, like a max in the draft. My thing is Max's contract is going to make him very appeasing to a lot of teams, very attractive. And so, we'll just see how it works out. But again, I want to just completely switch this organization around. I think we need the draft capital to do it. And so let's see. All right, real quick, I'm going to pull up we're going to end it off with this. Are we here? Nope. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure I get it right.
Pulling up a mock draft. Oh, let me get ready, y'all. What's going on?
Doing that just yet. God damn it. Then I'll get yelled at. Let me take the banner off. I'll get yelled at by my little ones. They'll be like, "It's bedtime. We need to get to bed. God damn it!" I'm like, "All right, yeah, I gotta." They need me to put them to bed. The wife, she's like, yeah, they need you to put them to bed.
Oh man, yeah.
But
nothing like Pops doing that.
I know. I do the night routine. That's what I do. Okay, let's do this. Obviously, we lose. The
night routine is showing them how to beat cover 4. Like, what you doing?
Going over game film. That's what it is. That's what puts them to sleep. I just got game film on the TV. That's what puts them to sleep.
Like in this zone scheme, what you want to do is
my 9-year-old will be like, "Wait, Dad, why don't the Raiders ever get it into that rectangle that you're supposed to get into?" I'm like, "Yeah, my bad.
Exactly.
Just don't do that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Go sleep. Go sleep." And so, what up, Moza Raider? What's going on, man? Appreciate you popping in here. Okay, real quick, we got number 2. Denver, obviously lose. Next up, Eagles. I don't see it. Go to the East Coast. Cold weather. Good defense. I just don't see us. Obviously, the storyline is going to be Kenny Pickett possibly playing against his former team. And so I'm pretty sure we're probably going to lose that one. Severe. Lose, win, loss. What's your thoughts?
It's a loss.
It's a loss.
We're losing every single one of them. Only team I can see us possibly beating is maybe the Giants if Dart doesn't play. But if Jameis plays that game, Jameis gonna whip our ass. Like Jameis caught a touchdown pass and looked more impressive than any receiver we've had on the roster this year outside of Jacoby. So, like,
I don't know. That's wild.
And he killed it today. He had a better day than anybody on the field.
God damn! Like, yeah, we're not getting to that. That's a whole nother show. So Eagles, no go. Then we got Texans. Look at the Texans just did the Chiefs. Ain't gonna happen. So I think it's clear without question. It's in Houston, so I think they're gonna. Or that's a loss. The only game that's left that we may. I'm not saying it's in stone, but we may have a chance. Is that New York game? But they got that defensive front that's going to absolutely kill us.
Oh my God, Dexter Lawrence. You think? Imagine the day he's going to have.
Like they're gonna kill us. And so yeah, see, everybody's already talking about Jameis. If Jameis plays, because the thing is that Jackson Dart, he could be in concussion protocol.
It's like he might have
he plays us.
by that game.
The way that he gets hit, it's wild.
It's crazy.
But
cartoonish hits is crazy.
You could see it being like a low-scoring game. You could see it being like a 17-13 game, and we end up losing. The Giants can just take that front four and just do work on us. Where's the flag? What's going on? You're saying Houston can get 12 sacks on us? Man, it might just happen. I'm going to look at that Chiefs game because if Mahomes threw 3 interceptions,
yeah,
bro, the pressure that they're going to put on whoever's sitting back at quarterback is going to be wild. So, the tribe, Jameis will sometimes toss you 2 or 3 picks. He will, but he'll throw 2-3 touchdowns too.
Yeah, exactly. Jameis threw for 5,000 yards in the season. 5,000. 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, but 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. That's crazy.
So and the thing is with him, like, as long as, like, the thing is he can throw interceptions, but our offense has proven they don't do anything with it. So we'll still lose.
Yeah.
So then we end with the Chiefs.
Game over. They put up 14 points. It's game over for us.
And so then we got the Chiefs, and the Chiefs at home at Allegiant. They got our number 1. They got our number, but 2, they got our number at Allegiant. And so that's just, it doesn't matter what position, what their situation is, schedule wise or record wise. They're going to come in and they're going to take it to us, and we have no answer for the defense over there either. So, number 1 pick, here we come. Here's the date though. Us against the Giants, and the Giants play New Orleans, I believe, as well. So the Giants play New Orleans still, which New Orleans, Tyler Shook looks like he's doing some good things over there.
Yeah, they won. They beat the Bucks, I think.
Yeah. I know they played the Bucks. If they won, yeah, they beat the Bucks.
Yeah, they beat the Bucks.
And so the thing is New York. I mean, I don't. It could be tough, but even with a good defense, maybe New York pulls off a win there. Hopefully, and if they do, bro, that puts us in the driver's seat.
Yeah, true.
So if New York beats us and they potentially beat New Orleans, that puts us in the driver's seat. We got number 1. And Severe, if we have the number 1 draft pick, we got to meet up with Chris in Pittsburgh for draft day.
Facts.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That'll be fun. So I think at the end of the day, yes, I don't know if we have another chance at winning. The Giants game is going to be the only game that we may have a chance, but even with that defense, bro, it's going to be rough. So,
yeah.
Look at Coach Damn Crab's legs is a genius. It's like a spinach to Popeye.
They did Jameis wrong with them crab legs, man. They know damn well you the star quarterback for Florida State. You walk in the stores, you take where the hell you want to, bro. They're not stopping you.
It's not. They are. And all that's best case scenario is that Giants win a game before we play them. Yeah, they play New Orleans. I think it's before us. I think they play New Orleans in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, all right. So look, that's kind of where we're at, man. We appreciate everybody rocking. We kind of broke down this Broncos game. We took a look at just our record. We got the number 2 overall pick, but definitely tap in with us on Wednesday as we break down game film. We appreciate everybody. Before you guys get out, double tap that screen, but Severe, man, let them know what you got rocking with Pharaoh, man. Shout out to Pharaoh being in the building tonight, as well as Rundown and Rafa, man. All you guys, make sure you guys go hit those guys up. And Jeff, make sure you guys hit up Jeff as well. But let everybody know what you got rocking throughout the week with Pharaoh.
And you guys know what it is, man. You know, Tuesdays and Thursdays with my dog, PharoahNFL, the 50-50 show, and Around the Shield. And then Sundays and Wednesdays, the War Room, man. You know, Chris is somewhere on a white sand beach right now, sipping an alcoholic beverage. You know, I'm sure he saw a beautiful sunset.
With the belly out and all.
He didn't watch the Raiders game, and all was right with the world for him, man. So, shout out to my dog, man. I know he's living his best life. But, you know, if misery loves company, and judging by the 150 people in the room, it does. You guys come on over here. We got you. And then Mondays, I've been rocking out on Mondays, some Mondays. I think I did a Wednesday last week right after you guys hopped off when I got back home. But yeah, tap in with your boy on Monday, man. I'll probably watch that national championship game, kind of see what I think. Probably watch some other guys. Maybe we could talk some draft stuff tomorrow. We'll see. I'm gonna leave that open. I try to leave it open to the chat. Let you guys kind of guide where we go with the conversation.
You know, the chat flies, man. In the War Room, man, you guys go all out. I do some lives as well, and man, that chat, you guys fly. So we definitely appreciate everybody that pops through. But definitely, guys, go hit up Severe, hit up Chris Protection Show podcast after this. Make sure you guys go hit that sub button and hit the like button over there. He'll be back with us on Wednesday, but y'all know I'm 805 Raider. My channel's Real Talk Raider Nation. I go live with my guys after every single game in the War Room. We break down game film on Wednesdays as well. And we're going to try to break down some game film in the offseason. All right, I'm going to try to get some game film with some of the college prospects. We'll break it down just like we do normal game film. We'll try to hit you guys with that and have a little bit of fun. Because obviously, man, if we get that number 1, even the number 2, as we sit now, if we get a top draft pick, there's going to be a lot of options out there. And we're definitely going to have fun. And we're going to break it down during the season. So, man, appreciate everybody rocking with us. LS, Chris got himself a strong touchdown in one hand and a FanDuel parlay in the other. You know he does. Yeah. You know he does.
Hey, the Raiders probably cost him some money though, because I'm sure he picked the Raiders to lose. I'm sure he probably teased that thing too. So that field goal probably did him. He probably teased it at like 9, knowing Chris. That field goal probably did him dirty. I'm sure that field goal did him dirty because he saw that 10-point. He saw the clock winding down before that penalty. Oh no, he was ecstatic.
He's pissed, and now he's just double fisted. Now he's real pissed off. He's just drinking. He's getting messy. That's what he's doing. So, but yeah, man, shout out to him, guys. Make sure you get over there. But appreciate everybody in the building. Hey, again, double tap that screen before you get out of here. We appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your Sunday. What's left of it. Have a great start to y'all week. Tapping with Severe tomorrow if he goes live. I might hit you guys with the live as well. Maybe on Tuesday. I might do it early on, but just depends on what type of time I got. But appreciate y'all, man. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Great start to your week. Tap with us on Wednesday. We'll see you on the next one. Be out here.